Dun, dun. Wake me up before you go. Anything man on the solo. Oh, hey, what's going on, people? What's going on? It's your boy, Six Man KStylzz, with your man. You already hear that? You already know. It is the great one, Mad Mike Sports. And we are your AFN brethren. And welcome to Friday Night Madness. If you don't know this show by now, anything can damn go on today. But before we start the show, Mike, what do we normally do before we start the show? Roll call. And today's roll call is going to feature Joseph Thornton. We got Raheem DeVille. We got Noah Tyndale. We got Andrew G. We got CK22. We got Asia Green. We got Michael Walker. Oh, we got Tony Wright. Joe Schmo. We're gonna do a few more here. We got our little homie here, ATM 534. We got Cookie by Nature and Yusuke Knight. Schedules got tied up, so we're going on a little bit later than what we want to, but appreciate y'all joining us with this. Mike, you want to go ahead and get into it, or do you got some kind of prologue you want to damn talk about before we get to the first topic?
Should I do it right now? I mean, I was going. I was gonna wait to do it, but Devontae put the critical tackles in there, so I might as well just go ahead and do it.
All right. Now, what are critical tackles? Mike is going to explain to us. Dig deeper.
And I've never heard of a critical tackle. I thought all tackles were critical, to be honest. So it's like, what do you guys think are critical tackles? Because aren't all the tackles supposed to be critical? Like, am I mistaken? I'm like, somebody tell me something.
I'm guessing critical tackles. And Noah already asking where the music at. We trying to put this thing on Spotify, so we can't have no music in the background in order to put it on Spotify. So yeah. Am I right, Mike?
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's going, like I said, for right now, that's just gonna be what I got. And Noah is gonna use it on his show too, so I already know. But I think what critical tackles are. Wait a minute. I think it's tackles, like the name says, tackles in critical situation, which is probably, and this is just my opinion, it's probably tackles to prevent first downs. I think it's just based on the situation as far as third downs and preventing first downs and stuff like that. Touchdown saving tackles. That's how I'm thinking. And shouts out to J Rock. It just entered the chat as well. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, critical tackles are not official stat, right? There's no such thing as a critical tackle. If you're talking to a coach, all tackles are critical. Every play is critical. That's why you don't take plays off. So to say that guys like Deion Jones are missing critical tackles, I mean, you can say that. I mean, most players miss tackles. I've seen Grady Jarrett get trucked by a quarterback. I've seen Grady Jarrett miss plenty of sacks. I've seen Grady Jarrett missed tackles. I've seen Aaron Donald literally have. I've seen him even in the Super Bowl. Like he wreaked havoc, but he didn't get a sack. He didn't get a tackle for loss. So it's like I can literally say from every player that's ever played the game that they've had missed tackles, and this is one of the reasons why I continue to say when you focus on one particular person, whether it's offensively or defensively, and say if we do this or get rid of this person, then all our answers will be all the questions will be answered. This is say, all right, we get rid of Deion Jones, okay, we'll have a better pressure, we'll have a better opportunity to be a better defense if we get rid of Deion Jones. Then we got people that say, well, Deion Jones is not worth the $10 million that we'll save in salary cap. So who are you going to replace with Deion? How are you going to replace his stats? How are you going to replace his ability to cover? How are you going to replace his ability to blitz? How are you going to replace his instincts? How are you going to replace his intelligence? How are you going to replace just Deion in itself? All right. Are you going to give it to Michael Walker? Yeah.
So what you're telling me is somebody done made up a stat to slander Deion Jones. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. And this guy is Eric Robinson. All right. I'm just going to give him his 2 seconds of fame since he thinks he's some ESPN expert that comes up with these narratives that Deion Jones need to be gone because he missed 17 tackles out of 154 opportunities. He missed 17 tackles out of 154 opportunities. What that means, he had a total of 137 tackles. And then when you look at a guy, if you ever look at the history of a Dean Pease defense, his defense is always going like this. He's always had one linebacker with well over 100 tackles. The rest are either corners or safeties. All right. Throughout his entire career as a defensive coordinator, his defenses have had one linebacker, okay, or over 100 tackles. 2 defensive backs with nearly 100 tackles. So those are the 3 primary positions for Dean Pease. Until this year, it was the first time in the history of Dean Pease's defenses that he's had 2 linebackers with well over 130 tackles. So you guys, I want you guys to tell me if you have a linebacker core with well over 130 tackles, what does that mean to you guys? If you have 2 linebackers with well over 130 tackles, let me kind of put this in perspective. When you go back and look at the great Ray Lewis team with the 2000 Ravens team, can anybody tell me how many 100 tackle? How many players on that defense had 100 plus tackles? I'm gonna give y'all a second to just think about that. How many players do you guys think on that 2000 Baltimore defense, were ranked the number 1 defense and arguably the greatest defense of all time? How many do you guys think that defense had? How many tackles? How many players on that defense had well over 100 tackles? So I'll give you a second. I'll give everybody a second to kind of answer that. You think you know KStylzz?
Let's see. Out of the 2000 Ravens defense, I know.
How many players do you think had well over 100 tackles?
I think the closest one that I can think of maybe was Ed Hartwell. I mean, I talking about out of that whole tenure, I could probably only outside of linebackers, I could really only think about 3, and That's just guessing. I know Ed Hartwell probably was one of them, but outside of that, I can't
I'm
really think
about
of
to kind of. You're gonna be kind of. You're gonna be kind of wrong on that, and I'm just gonna say this. All right, I was only one player, and Ray Lewis was that guy.
I wasn't counting Ray Lewis, but goddamn, that makes
That's it.
that makes
It
sense.
was literally he was the only guy. Okay, it was Ray Lewis. That's it. So my point is, when you have a middle linebacker or you have two middle linebackers with well over 130 tackles apiece, what does that mean to you guys? What does that mean to you, KStylzz?
Two
if
guys.
You got two, your middle linebacker. We play a 3-4, okay? We play a 3-4. So there's two guys in the middle and two guys on the outside. But the two guys in the middle have 130 tackles apiece. What does that tell you?
That just tells me that nobody else on the defense is really flying to the ball. That's one thing. The second thing is that means your defensive line is not letting these guys attack the line of scrimmage. Because remember those Ray Lewis, them 2000 Ravens defense. Let's put this in perspective with the 2000 Ravens defense. You could think of a Tony Saragusa, Sam Adams. We've talked about it before. Kelly Gregg, Haloti Ngata. If you look at those Ravens defenses, what is the one thing that they prioritized over everything? Is the big bodies in the front. Because
and I want to look at one thing too. Go ahead. Get my bad.
But like I said, it's because if you have that wall in front of you, your linebackers can attack the line of scrimmage. The second thing is what that tells me too, with the two linebackers having over 100 tackles. Well, compared with the Ravens defense, that means that everybody on that defense could tackle one-on-one. Because while you were speaking, okay, as we was talking about the 137, 190 some tackles. Did y'all know that Deion Jones and Foye are the only two players that have over 6 on this team that has over 60 solo tackles?
Well, it further proves exactly what I was talking about. It only proves what the issue really is, and it's not Deion Jones and it's not Foye Oluokun effort or lack thereof. The biggest issue, and let me throw this out. I want to say this real quick. How many sacks do you how many sacks do you guys think that Baltimore Ravens defense had?
I say at least 30, 35. Well, no. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the best. I say at least 25. I say right around that 25.
You were right the first time with 35. They actually 35. Had 35. Do you know how many the Falcons had in 2016? How many sacks they had in 16?
2016, I think it was about 29-ish. About that area, 29, 30.
You see in a pattern? You see in a pattern here? There's a pattern here, okay? The reason why I'm bringing that up is because the tackles, let me get the tackles. Okay, I have the tackles. That 2000 Falcons team, this is another pattern. That team was a Super Bowl. I'm comparing Super Bowl teams. That Falcons team in 2016 equaled. They had one thing in common with the Falcons, with that Ravens defense. And anytime they had 34, they had 35 and 34 total sacks. This is the reason why Dean P says it's not so much sacks, it's pressure and stopping the run. When you got guys that can get off the field, the one thing that they did well also that Baltimore Ravens defense, they was able to get off the field on third downs. So it's not so much how many sacks you're getting, it's those small intricate details of football that we always speak about. Can you get those critical stops on third downs? Can you get a sack when can you get that critical stop when it matters most? So it doesn't always have to be a sack. It doesn't always have to be an interception. It has be a batted ball. And what I'm basically painting the picture is that Falcons team had two guys with over 100 tackles. Had two guys with over 100 tackles, and that was Keanu Neal and Deion Jones. The Falcons had 34 total sacks, and I think we all know that Big B's with a high guy, but the next guy in line was Adrian Claiborne with 4.5 sacks. So sense. When you look at not only the Falcons but the Baltimore Ravens, it's almost the exact same, just a little bit differently. The Falcons were a little bit more spread out. The Ravens were a little bit more spread out. They had more quality defensive linemen up front. The Ravens had Rob Burnett with 10.5 sacks, Michael McCreary 6, and you got Peter Boulware with 7. But everyone else were 3, 2, 2. You had James Trout with 2. You had Sam Adams with 2, and you had Kim Herring with 1, and Ray Lewis with 3 sacks. So
damn, that's a name I ain't heard in a long time. Goddamn Kim Herring, I ain't heard that name.
Kim Herring, and look, man. So what the point is that you have to have depth. What the Falcons don't have is depth. They have good linebackers, but they don't have the guys up front that can keep the offensive line off of our middle linebackers. That's the biggest issue. And another thing that Devontae actually brought to my attention is that it was a common issue with not only the Falcons. Anybody know Jordan Brooks? Jordan Brooks plays for the Seattle Seahawks. What did he have in common? There's a common thing with Jordan Brooks and Foye Oluokun. Both of those guys had Jordan Brooks had 184 total tackles. Foye Oluokun had 192 tackles. But there's a common thing with those guys. Do you know what that common thing is?
Only thing I can say, the common thing that I saw is the defensive line ain't played worth a damn.
Mm-hmm. Both of those are bottom defenses. They are one of the worst defenses in the league. Mm-hmm. Both of those things. Both of those players. There was 1, 2, and tackles. Jordan Brooks, Foye Oluokun, and both of those defenses were on the bottom of the totem pole as far as defenses. So when we talk about tackles, and this is the reason why I said what I said, and I had I put out several tweets on this, and then we got these quote unquote analysts who work for ESPN. They give you guys the wrong idea of what numbers tell you. We're looking at and if anybody want to kind of see these things, you can check us out. We have the Discord. You can check us out on Twitter. You can inbox me, and I will give you these numbers to kind of further prove what I'm saying, even with Dean Pease. Okay, going back to New England, and this is probably one of the most. This is the show where I'm gonna give you the stats. Okay, going back to that 2006 New England Patriot team where Dean Pease was the defensive coordinator. This is a common thing. A lot of his linebackers you typically only have one linebacker, which is the middle linebacker that has well over 100 tackles. You got Teddy Bruschi when he was with the Patriots. The next guy, and there was not one guy on that Baltimore Ravens defense where he was the defensive coordinator. He didn't have a single guy with 100 tackles. Darnell Ellaby was the leading tackle as far as the linebackers are concerned with 92. Then you take it to I don't know exactly what this year, but Darryl Smith with that Baltimore Ravens defense, he was the lone linebacker with 123 combined tackles. The next guy in line with 100 tackles was James Iambadejo, and he was a DB. All right, and you have, but that's pretty much the kind of see the pattern. One linebacker in DP. This is a DP system. He only has one linebacker with well over 100 tackles. But the rest of them, most of the leaders are DBs. The DBs are the ones that have a lot of tackles in his defense, which is the reason why he likes to have a guy like a Isaiah Oliver, who is a sure tackler, because it's a common thing with him. Go ahead.
So what you're telling me is that the trenches matter?
The trenches matter. Oh, I got
trenches
matter. I got another step. Yeah, I want to kind of go in as far as the linemen also. Ty Warren. I don't know if a lot of people remember Ty Warren, but Ty Warren was a guy. He was a defensive lineman, and he was third in the team in tackles with 84. 84 total tackles as a defensive lineman. All right. And the next one, again, he did it with them. McLean. But a lot of his, according to Upshaw, he was up there with 60 tackles. And Terrell Suggs with 80. But most of his linemen are always near the top as far as tackles are concerned. He needs guys that are going to penetrate. So if he doesn't have guys that are penetrating, he doesn't have that one defensive lineman that's going to stop the run, allow Grady to penetrate, you're not going to get the best out of his defense. He has to have that one guy that can penetrate and the other guy that's going to eat up space, which is the reason why a lot of people have been big on a Jordan Davis, because that's the type of, in Dean Pease's defense, he has to have those things. He has to have DBs that can tackle well and discipline. He has to have sure tacklers and guys, linebackers with speed, and he has to have these big fat slobs in the middle that's going to take up space and keep the offensive lineman off the linebackers. So I know that was a lot. You guys can go back and rewind it, but this is what I wanted to get out. This is the type of things that Dean Pease need for his defense to be successful.
All right.
I've been doing this all. I've been in the lab all day. I've been in the lab all day, bro. I'm sorry, Miss Maggie, but I've been in the lab all day, and I just wanted to give people.
That's all right. I appreciate y'all doing everything that y'all can. Like, you really have been the saving grace of this channel as of lately, as I am currently waiting my second test results, and my darling baby, as we are in quarantine, he's also fallen fatigued. At first they were saying maybe the stomach flu, but all that passed through. Everything's passed through. Feel like I'm fine. Like, I wake up in the morning, I cleaned up my office where I record. I mean, I had everything. I had energy. It's like it's a burst of energy real quick. So I take advantage of it. That's why I've been doing the morning show. That's like the only thing I can, handle as far as energy. But it's like right after the show, it's just, I drain. So right now, of course, this is the time that I normally drain. So I just wanted to let everybody know in some updates. I made some adjustments. Now, back in July, because my son, I'm gonna tell you why this is very important, because this is what I need. And I got some liquid IV coming to me from Amazon. Also, people, please invest in that. Pedialyte, Gatorade, and liquid IV. Look it up. It's on Amazon. They have it now where it can be shipped the same day. I did it this morning, and it's supposed to be dropped off at 10 p.m. The reason why I said this, because I've had some people that hit me up in my most intimate moments, I mean, not together at all, and talked to me and said, one guy, I'll get his link again. He's a cigar distributor. As you know, we're in the works of possibly a restaurant, but right now that's on the back burner because it's so many families out there that's reached out either for just a mental health vent. I've helped a lot of people in my sickness, just listening and providing my, just sometimes they just want to vent and cry, and I don't cry with them. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys.
No.
I know there were some things that was in question about what we were doing. For one thing, I don't feel that people should, if you want to record what you're doing as far as charities, it's fine. That's all you. But a lot of people do good deeds without it being, out there, because to reach out to someone for assistance, such as just the simple thing of Gatorade and soup and the necessities like toothpaste and soap, and these people are not working at this point. I'm not working. I mean, honestly, if I wanted to work, I couldn't work at this point because I've been sick for more than 3 weeks now, where my energy is completely drained, where if I went to some physical job, they would let me go anyway. Okay. So I took the donations that was originally for the fund, the AFN, no, you're not blocked. We see you. How are you? Okay. Anyway, basically we had a GoFundMe a long time ago when I was working with another restaurant, and it was a partnership. And basically it just didn't work out. It wasn't the right situation for you guys. And it's the fact that I also thought about, okay, November, that's cold weather. That's when COVID thrives. I guess I predicted it because I just went on and postponed it, So we probably just do it during the tailgate day, hot as hell days. That way people can come out and be a little bit more comfortable. Of course, protocols and all that, I'm getting all that in work. So it will be a nice little where everybody will have like little gift bags of just the things they need to keep their hands clean so we can all be safe and party at the same time. So I just postponed it so it wouldn't be where we all get together and then everyone's sick. That's the last thing I want. I try to stay away from my children, but sometimes children just are persistent. And now my son's walking around with fatigue too and in the bed. But I can get on here and speak and talk, and I will put I'm not going to hold it up too long because I'm long-winded. I'm sorry. But I readjusted the GoFundMe. Everybody that donated the money to that fund, it basically was just readjusted to provide services for people that just really need those things. So I've been offering grocery delivery because, of course, I can't physically take it out. But now it's becoming such a demand to where if anyone wants to donate these items instead, because it's starting to get less off the shelf. So if you just have plenty of, water is nice, but during this pandemic and this, you need teas, ginger, honey, garlic, clove, it's a lot of things that I've been getting a lot of resources. So me dealing with it myself, I do the emergency. I drink, I did a detox tea that has all the things that you need. So I haven't passed out anything else from the body. Of course, my skin is clear and I'm eating and drinking fruit and stuff like that, but I am still extremely fatigued. So I went on ahead and just took me a test. And my son now, he's kind of in the bed. He's with me. So me and him are going to be isolated in this room for another 5 days. But, we've been watching whatever this is. We watch Willy Wonka. We over here just enjoying movies and eating snacks. So we're fine. I plan on going on this tomorrow morning to explain it a little bit more because I had to readjust it because of COVID test and my son's sick. So I'm here to say I'm going to put this in the chat for you. Then I'm going to let you guys have your show. This GoFundMe is definitely a need. Okay, I just said it for $1,000. We already think we got like 150 so far, so that was able to kind of get a few things. Also on that GoFundMe description, there is a link that I've been posting a little bit, but sometimes YouTube is not friendly, where they'll delete the tweet and won't even let it post. So I sometimes put it in the community tab. Please click on that. I believe from what I know, I don't know if it's statewide or nationwide, but you can choose your location of where you are, and it will give you the resources in your area. So I will do more research on that and get more specific, because I only looked on it just maybe once, because of course we're fine. We have resources. Thanks for you guys as viewers. It helps us as far as the donation to, the cash, the super chats and, our Google ads and things that help us afloat. But the direct things, we're taking that into the donation of the pot, and we'll be putting out to people. So my email is out there if anybody's needing something, because what I've been sending out was really just the necessities: soup, soap, toothpaste, everything that you need to recover, and that's starting to fly off the shelves, everybody. So it's getting to a point where if you don't have it, you don't have it. So stock up on those Pedialyte, stock up on those, everything, sanitizer. I mean, I got so much sanitizer, it's ridiculous. Every time I run into the store, I grab it, because I'm trying to grab it before people get too panicky. We're trying our best over here to get better, but it's all over, people. It's all over. There's nothing we can do to avoid it. Please put on your mask. Some people are doubling up at this point. And there are now resources where if you go online, I'll put the link in the GoFundMe once I know exactly what website that is, but you can order free tests. I think it's up to 4 testing kits, as well as masks. They're doing the special masks that you have to have. Now those are accessible to everyone free. I don't know who's calling me right now. It might be my daughter at work. I'm sorry, y'all. But that's it. I mean, I don't want to hold y'all up, but that's my. So I'm gonna get off of here because my daughter's getting off of work. She got her first job at Walmart. Yeah, so excited. But I'm gonna call her and make sure she's all right. She's getting off. But thank you, everybody. And yeah, it's getting real, people. We just, like I said, we lost a good staple of our family because she had dementia, but I'm pretty sure it was COVID because everybody else was over there sick. So I'm good, but I can't physically get out. So if you're needing something, please be specific to what you need, and I will make sure that you get what you need. Even if it had to be a grocery delivery, I will put it in the cart and send it to you if I have to do it that way. Okay. But the only problem with that is now it's starting to get to the point when I order Gatorade, they completely just ignore the fact that Gatorade is the most necessity, and they'll do individual bottles. I'll call back. I'm like, well, Gatorade, please. Oh, we have it, but we didn't have what you have. Well, please, this is important. It's people over here in need. We need it. I don't care what it is. A bottle of Gatorade helps somebody a long way. Okay, so this link is going in the chat. And I appreciate everybody. If it doesn't, like I said, it's on the community tab already. So like I said, YouTube is on something, but it's the GoFundMe. It will explain that a little bit more. But as I get more information, I'll update you as you guys go. And then we also offer drop-off situations now. I ain't gonna give you my address, but we'll pick it up and then, store it. But, just for storage purposes and safety. But if you need a drop-off, we will also provide that for you too. So thank you, everybody. Please be safe. I'll be back. I'm going to continue to hold my show until February, and I'm just doing impromptu pop-ups as I feel the need and have the energy. I'm sorry. I'm tired. So I'm gonna go see what my daughter's up to, and I be well and wish y'all whatever. If I don't wake up in the morning to do the show, just know that I'll see you guys in mid-February. Okay. All right. Y'all just be safe. All right.
All right. Hey, I'm about to say just keep doing what you're doing. Like you said, the main thing, you can't control this now. It's all up to us.
Yeah, it's all up to us to kind of, provide resources so you'll know that there's testing kits out there you can get for free, and mask at least. And the tests are free, people. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. All the tests are free, even tests that you get online for yourself. So order everybody some in the house. Bottom line, you get 4. Okay.
Right.
All right, people. I'm finna deal with my baby. Call my daughter, and we will be out. I'll be in the chats though. Appreciate y'all for letting me interrupt y'all for this public service announcement.
Hey, hey, there's a very important announcement. I'll tell you that much.
I knew I couldn't do this in a quick, fast, and a hurry thing because a lot of people just was not knowing what was going on. But it's like now it's getting real to the point where it's like I need help at this point. Okay. Thank you, people.
All right. Hey, that's some real shit right there. It is crazy. Like I said, I just say it like this. It seems like every month is always a new strand. So, yeah, everybody just stay up. Do what you got to do. All I'm just saying. But damn. Hey, Mike. But okay. So how we gonna follow that? How we gonna follow that? Because that's a very eye-opening. That's very eye-opening and real.
Well, we give people, their thoughts on where we were to begin with, as far as the, as far as the the conversation as far as like what's really wrong with the Falcons. Is it Deion Jones? Is it the defense in its entirety? Like, how are we going to fix this defense?
Okay. Hey, I'm about to say you want to say that for later and kind of get to talking about. All right, so I know we y'all done got like a first half of a show. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and get into this topic. Let's go ahead and get into the main topic for the night. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up. So there's one particular reason why I want to talk about this tonight. Look at one of the home games. What do you see? Hey, Mike, what do you see as one of the home games on this schedule?
What I see? Oh, we already talked about that one. A big C right there in the middle. The middle on the left side.
I'm gonna ask everybody that's watching, what do you see as one of the home? Well, what do you see on the left side of this schedule where the home games is really, really something that is very gonna be next year is gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna see if anybody could catch it. If not, let me go ahead and read them out. The 2022 opponents. We got 9 home games this year. We got the Cardinals. We got the 49ers. We got the Browns. We got the Steelers. Okay, Panthers, Saints, and Buccaneers. Chicago Bears. That's the one that I'm talking about, because Lord have mercy. They knew what the hell they was doing with this. They knew what they was doing with this one.
Oh, we know. We know.
This is going to be the game that I'm paying attention to the most, because this is going to be the game where you're going to see a lot of Chicago Bears jerseys that are from Atlanta. Just because of Justin Fields. Now, as we look at this schedule is going to be tougher because we got the AFC North and the NFC West this year. So it's going to be tougher. If I remember this past season, when they announced Like I said, when they had announced the opponents, what was that record that everybody said the Falcons was going to have when they announced the opponent? Even though this was a quote unquote easier schedule.
4-13? I think 4-13 or something like that.
It was 5-12, and this was with Julio and Calvin Ridley. What the hell you think they're gonna say when they see this schedule? What, they gonna put us at 1-16 for this year because of that schedule? To be all honestly with you, these are the type of schedules I like. Okay, ain't nobody gonna give them a chance. Hey, and let's look at. But like you said, the main thing is the road games are really gonna be the tougher of the out of the split. It's gonna be the tougher. Cleveland, I don't believe in them. If we get the Cardinals late in the season, we already know what the Cardinals' history is as far as late season. So, what do you think about that, Mike?
As far as the schedule is concerned,
as far as the schedule, how do you feel about that? How do you see that?
What exactly you talking about? Just because the schedule, I mean,
not the schedule, but the opponents.
The opponents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole schedule. I think the focus of this coming season, we're going to be focused on we're going to be facing a lot of defensive teams. With the exception maybe Cincinnati, but this is a defensive. It's going to be a hard nose, so they're going to have to get tough on the offense side of the ball, and they're going to have to get tough on the defense side of the ball. But they're going to get tough.
Hey, guess what? Guess why you just said that? It fit into the theme of what we was talking about the first thing of the show.
So we literally that's what I'm talking about.
Bam.
Like I said, look, man, this is the reason why I like coming doing these things on the shows, because we got guys like Eric Robinson who think they know what the hell they be talking about when they try to focus on beating up one player. Defense has never been about one player. Basketball, baseball, football, it doesn't matter. All right, you gotta have a total team defense. Don't matter if you got one great defender. If everybody else suck and you got one great defender, that's not good enough.
Hell no.
You got to have a total team that buys into what it and they understand what their job, and they're very good at what their job is. So when I see people like Eric Robinson, and I'm gonna keep calling his punk ass name until he actually, want to come on the show and start talking about this type of stuff. He want to tweet and tweet and tweet, but these are the facts. The Falcons gave up 2,200 rushing yards, and the problem is Deion Jones. We need to get rid of Deion Jones, and $10 million in salary cap is going to improve this defense.
I got another question, Mike. I got
another question. What's that?
So, if Foyer led this team in tackles and Deion was number 2, why the hell would you want to get rid of one of your best defenders?
And a defense that was
in a defense that is rebuilding
for $10 million in salary cap. This is their logic. This is these guys' logic, and this is why you have shows like this that's going to tell you what's actually wrong with the Falcons. Instead of just focusing on one particular guy, we know Isaac, Tony, CK22, Atlanta Nation, Rodney Brown, Brittany. We all know that this defense needs more than just one particular player. Having Jordan Davis on this team is not going to fix this team. Getting rid of one guy is not going to fix this team. Triple G, we know that this getting rid of one particular player is not going to fix this deal. We literally brought in Tony Gonzalez, Julio Jones, and Roddy White, had Michael Turner, had all the weapons on one offensive side of the ball, and that still got us one game short away from the Super Bowl. So how can you explain this to me? Explain this to me, Mr. Eric Robinson, that getting rid of Deion Jones is going to fix the problems? What's wrong with the Atlanta Falcons? Please explain to me. Somebody, we'll give you the link in the chat right now to send this to Eric Robinson. Tell him to come on the show and say getting rid of Deion Jones is going to specifically change the defense. That's the focus of the entire tweet. Deion Jones is not the issue. There's a greater issue with this Atlanta Falcons, and it's the defensive line. They're getting bullied. They're getting pushed. The Falcons can't run the ball. We don't have a number one receiver. We don't have a number two receiver. The offensive line is up and down. But we're focusing on one particular player to say, all right, Deion is the problem. If we just get rid of Deion and we make Michael Walker the starter, then our issues are fixed. You got something, KStylzz?
I just thought about something. As these Falcons have continued to struggle these last 4 years, have you noticed that every year it's a new player that everybody wants to get rid of?
It's the same. It's a bully mentality. It's a bully. This is the reason why I say, as fans, we can't allow these people who are content creators get away with this stuff. All they do is find a new target. Before it was Isaiah Oliver. We pointed the finger at Isaiah Oliver. Now it's Deion. And now it was Matt Ryan. And we said it was Matt Ryan. Now it was Mike Davis. Granted that Mike Davis wasn't, but it's always a single person or a single reason why we're not good. And it's just not true. Let's stop picking on one particular player. If a guy, we got two guys over 100, and they literally with themselves combined over what 137, 190. That's what 103, almost 300 damn tackles. That's well over 320 tackles or something like that.
329 tackles. And so guess who? And look, and guess who was third on the team in tackles?
Who was that?
Mr. AJ Terrell.
You remember when I just told you guys earlier that defense are very vital in it? I told you guys that, didn't I? Rewind it. Go rewind and say exactly what it is. Like I said, if you guys want to see the stats and the proof of the reason why I'm saying I cannot see the Falcons not taking a guy, either a defensive lineman, a big defensive lineman who can stop the run, or a defensive back. This is what he needs to be successful. He can generate pressure with adequate linemen, but what he cannot do is create a defense without the necessary tools. It's about creating a defense that's going to help this team improve. And getting rid of Deion Jones for the sake of $10 million is not going to help when you don't have the guys in free agency. What guys in free agency you going to throw $10 million at? You're not going to throw $10 million at no damn Jamie Collins or a Jamie Collins. He's going to look at that $10 million and laugh at you. These guys are wanting $15 million. If you want an elite pass rusher, you're going to pay at least $15 million for him. We paid, what, $16 million for Dante Fowler. And he's Kung Fu Panda.
That's all you see on the side. That's all you see on the defense.
Again, Everybody, y'all can inbox him. He can come on and explain this to me. How getting rid of Deion Jones, and I promise you, when he get on, he gonna say that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that this team is this and this. Look, we all know that. I got video document evidence of what we've been saying all year. We need to get a guy who's going to come in and stuff the run. We need those guys. We literally have a quote here, and somebody just said it. Route 96. Why would we talk about Route 96? Okay, why would we talk about Route 96? Because it's an issue. We can't get pressure on the quarterback. We can't stop the run, but it's a Deion Jones problem. These are the narratives that we're talking about. We cannot allow these guys to keep popping these false narratives. If we trade Matt Ryan, y'all all will be well. That's a false narrative. There's no truth behind it. These guys use these numbers to nitpick players, and then when you try your best to, not even try your best, you actually provide with the stats, the facts, and the truth. They go to other things. So the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of is Deion Jones having the best year of his career? Absolutely not. Is Deion Jones the worst linebacker in the league? Absolutely not. But is there a bigger issue with this Atlanta Falcons defense than Deion Jones?
I was about to say, Mike, you want to go ahead and open it up, because I see a particular person that I think might need to come on here.
All right, let me put it in there.
Go ahead and put it in there. So we're going to open it up. We want
people to explain to us how you're going to fix this defense. Go ahead.
I'm about to say the first ones we want on here are the detractors of everybody that detract everything that we say. I see a couple of you in here. We want y'all to come on first. Gotta come on first, because I like okay. So the question is going to be how would you fix this team? That's going to be the question. But we was going to talk about the playoffs this weekend and stuff, but we done took an audible today, so that we gonna close out the show with playoff things. That ain't gonna take too long. Like I said, the first people I want that I want to hit that link are the people that, if you want this team to win, you need to hop on and tell us what this team needs. You can't talk. You can't be talking tough in the chat.
It's like I said. Look, man.
You can't talk tough in the chat, and then
you can't talk tough in the chat. You can't be talking tough.
These folks finna hold you to the fire if you two Mike, go ahead and put it in there again.
If you on Man My Sports, if you on AFN, is pinned to us. It's in blue. It's highlighted in blue. So you can't miss. It's highlighted in yellow and blue. You can't miss it. It's pinned. That's the link. So ain't no excuses to say it's not there. It's there.
It's there. It's 6 different links. You can
send them the link. Tell them to come on the show and tell me how Deion Jones is the problem with this defense and he needs to go. All right, somebody tell me that. I need answers, because obviously, like I said, I don't know how. I didn't see Deion missing 3 picks.
All right.
I mean, I didn't see Deion miss. Have anybody? Do any one of us remember Deion missing picks? Typically, when Deion gets an opportunity to get a pick, don't he bring it down for the most part? What about Foye Oluokun? Yeah, Foye does a great job. So I don't think the linebackers are the problem. Foye, I will stand by this. I believe the Falcons have the best linebacking core in the NFL. We got 3 players that done had picks. Well, Deion didn't have one this year. We got 2 players that had picks. So these guys have ability. Mike Walker, Deion Jones, Foye Oluokun. When we talk about this defense, even with the NFL leader in tackles, the Falcons still had the worst. They still had the worst. They still gave up 2,020. They gave up 2,000 rushing yards.
Hey, also, shouts out to the Welsh Scottish lads. He's showing some love all the way from Scotland.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love, man. Hey. Yeah, Atlanta Nation, anybody to join, but like I said, for right now, we want the people that feel like what this team needs, what player, like they say we got to get rid of certain players. What can that be used for, and what's the plan for you? What is your plan for the team by getting rid of these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Them the guys we want first. Like I said, we only gonna hold this open for about 5 more minutes.
Why is there? Everybody got so much to say, but nobody wants to come. The league, if you don't want to come on, send it to him. Let him come in on and explain it. Don't matter who it is. I'm gonna explain how you gonna fix this thing, fix this defense. How you gonna fix that team? Since everybody got the answers to it, we want to blame everybody. We want to blame single players, but somehow you guys got all the answers. Who are you going to get to even replace the? Again. Let's just say Deion is half of what he is.
But
let's just say he half of what he is.
Right. All right. Let's see.
Rico.
All right. Rico Glenn. All right. Thumbs up if you ready, man. You ready? All right. Rico, what's going on with you, man?
Oh, good. How we doing tonight, fellas? Everybody doing good?
Hey, we doing good. We doing good, man. What you got for us?
Honestly, man, I think this team, I think we need to go in a younger direction. If we're talking about guys that I would cut, it's a laundry list of them. Steve and me, man, get out of here, okay? I don't want to see you, okay? Take that jersey off like you were saying yesterday. He disrespecting the 55s, okay? You gotta go.
See, he watched my show last night. That's what happened. He watched my show
last night. I like him already.
Yeah, Jerron Harmon, he got to go. Harris, he got to go. Fabian Moreau, hey man, you can put anybody out there to give up.
Man, you can't be getting rid of everybody. You want to get rid of the whole team, bro?
No, I'm not.
Let him go.
What I'm saying is stop dilly-dallying in the middle. If we're going to go younger, then let the younger guys play. You know, I like what I saw from Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins when they got in there. Like, I honestly do. I would rather have young guys in there making mistakes than old vets and we're watching the same thing over and over. We watch it stop after stop for these guys' career. And it's like, they're not going to come here and all of a sudden be Pro Bowl guys. You know, I would say let's go younger. For the people that's talking about the linebacking core, shut up, okay? Just shut up, okay? Linebackers, A.J. Terrell and Grady Jarrett do not need to be touched, okay? Linebackers, Grady Jarrett and A.J. Terrell do not need to be touched, okay? What we need for the linebackers, and you can really see those guys shine, is if we had some dogs on the D-line with Grady. Okay, some people that can get off blocks and make tackles. And then let's see Deion Jones and Foye in 3rd down and 8. You know, when some pass rush is coming. Then we get to see Debo. You know, then we'll see Foye. But these guys talking about get rid of them. then we really have nobody. We really are up the creek without a paddle. I mean, I don't understand it. My thing is I understand what it is. You know, I know they tried to sell us we just retooling, we not rebuilding. Hey, look, we rebuilding, okay? Like I need some trenches, okay? I need to get tougher, okay? And enough of these good guys, man. I don't care that a guy is a good person Monday through Saturday and then gets out there on Sunday and gets ran through. You know what I'm saying? Give me somebody that come to the stadium, lick it up, walking from Magic City. You know what I'm saying? Police got to drag him. You know, but if he getting me 10 to 12 sacks a year, I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Give me a guy that might get a DUI on a Thursday
look,
night.
he said he tired of getting people that donate to kitten shelters and shit, boy.
Great job. You're a great guy in the community. I appreciate it. Okay. Look, go do like Vic Beasley did, okay, and go ahead and preach somebody. Okay.
Right.
And other than that, man, and the one thing I would like to say is this: I really don't like Dan Quinn because of this. And Thomas Dimitroff. Guys, do you realize that we passed up on TJ Watt for Takk McKinley, guys? That's the type of stuff that sets your franchise back. And the only reason why we did it is because Jim Mora and a UCLA connection. And we're talking about JJ Watt, little brother. And you take Takk McKinley. That's the type of stuff that sets franchises back.
Hold on, Rico. I gotta add to that. We traded up to get Takk McKinley. Remember that.
That just like it literally makes no. And you sit up and you look and we could have had that guy. And I don't know if you guys listen to 92.9 The Game.
Oh yeah.
You know, Chuck Smith, he always talks about it, with what he always says. And he says the Falcons literally never reach out to him. They never reach out. This guy has worked with Yannick Ngakoue. Guys that we see that are dogs. And he's been trying to tell. He tells the radio host this. Hey, pick up the phone and call him. Okay? Hey, Chuck, who's going to be the next great pass rusher? Okay? I'm taking your word for it. Give him a chance to blow it a couple times. Okay. All these church-going guys, I don't need it. Okay. I need some dogs. In the trenches, I need dogs. My linebackers are fine. You can pair somebody with AJ Terrell, I'm fine with that. Give me some dogs in those trenches and we will be fine. We are not that far off from a playoff team. If you guys didn't see that this year, stop talking about Matt Ryan as the problem because he doesn't run for 1,000 yards. Okay, we get it. Okay, Matt needs help. Okay, just like every other quarterback. Okay, did you see Tom Brady versus the Saints the last time? Okay, when Cam Jordan was all right there. When Tom Brady was giving everybody those dirty Tom Brady looks, and they just he's so competitive. No, Tom needed help that game, and them boys up front didn't help him. Okay, go get Matt some help, and I promise you, we're not that far from the playoff team. We're not. Right. I mean, did you guys not see Arizona, Dallas? It's not a bunch of world beaters in the NFC. Get your trenches right, and we can make some stuff happen.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, you hit on some good points right there, man. And like you said about the young guys, I think the reason why we saw those older guys this year was to further the maturation process. Because as we kind of know that, like with Richie Grant, Jalen Hawkins, and Darren Hall, like the transition is going to be real different for them. So, like you said, I agree with you. When they got in the game, they whooped ass. So I'm good. Like I said, I'm fine. Hey man, you pretty much hit everything we just said, man. I ain't got nothing to say on you on that one.
Man, hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, like I said, when we do these Friday Night Madnesses, hey, we open in the lines. You come on anytime. You got any social media, something that you want to plug out there, you want people to follow you at? Because these people like exactly what you said, man.
Oh, no, man, I'm fine on my social media thing and everything, man. I'm fine. Just a dedicated Falcon fan, man. I just want to see some good football. Like, man, we need a Super Bowl championship. Like, doesn't it feel good, Atlanta? The Braves, the Bulldogs. Like, imagine what a Super Bowl or an NBA title would do this time. Like, let's get one. And I honestly think Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is, I mean, to me, Arthur Smith Coach of the Year. You know, honestly, man, the man made a Michelin star dish with a pack of ramen noodles. Like, can we call it what it is? You know, can we call it what it is? The man, he's doing things, and we actually got to see, like, oh, it was coaching. You know, I mean, we actually got to see it in Dallas. Well, oh, that whole rah-rah and stuff and them speeches and catchphrases don't work, huh? When Stephon Diggs getting turned around Trayvon getting turned around like a top.
Yeah, man, them catchphrases don't work, huh?
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't. You know, you see, you know, and these are the same people that'll tell you, well, Trayvon is better than AJ. Have you not seen things? You know, it's a
big. I think it's big.
Ooh.
It's a lot of people that I see, and man, it's only because of the narrative that they see. You know, and they're talking about, well, who's the top corner? And of course, everybody throw out Jalen. Jalen a dog. You know, Marlon Humphrey's dogs. You know, it's dogs in the league. But when AJ is up there, you know, a lot of people still going out that Clemson game. That was one game. The LSU game with Jamar Chase.
I'm glad you said that. We're gonna let Vlad come in, and we got another one. I'm glad you said that. So we appreciate you coming on.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. I'm about to tune in, man.
All right, man.
All right,
we appreciate you, man.
But I'm glad you said that, because this is exactly why I say, like, you can't just throw guys away after one bad. Like, it's like 1 year he hasn't been Debo of old. Like, you know, like if it's. We saw what led to Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal. We saw what led up to those guys' eventual departure. Like, we saw the 3 years, you know, of inconsistencies and injury. We saw Adrian Claiborne, his inconsistency. He had one game where he get 3 sacks, but it was we saw the gradual regression, but Deion has literally had 1 year where that baffles me to say he had a down year. But, like, if you want to say this is it, this has literally been the only season. This has literally been the only season. Like, if we would have gave up on AJ Terrell because he had one bad game against Jamar Chase, then we would have missed out on probably one of the best corners. Like, he the way he looks right now, we're talking about, you know, a guy that could be the best corner in the league.
Statistically,
because of one game.
Statistically, he was
go ahead, Vlad.
Statistically, he was an all-pro this year. Like, if you actually compare his stats as far as, like, you know, yards allowed and whatnot, like, yeah, he didn't have the flashy interceptions, but interceptions are so fluky, though. Like, you got to look at yards given up, and he literally had, like, the least amount of yards gave up this season. Like, he was, like, the fact that he didn't make the Pro Bowl this year, I know it's just, like, you know, whatever, but it was still kind of, like, just baffling to me because of just how well he played. And it shows like that, those kind of things.
Oh, come on. Excuse me. The guy's here. The guy's here. He's been talking all day. Let's see what he got today.
All right.
I was waiting for
let's see what he got. I want to kind of set this up.
I was waiting for the link.
But this guy, I want him to get his water because I want him to explain. Drink all the water that you can. Please drink all the water you can and explain to us what the issue was.
First of all, I was waiting for the link. It took you long enough. Should have sent it.
It's been up there.
So where are we starting with this debate?
What was the issue?
The issue is when it comes to Deion Jones is not the problem on the Falcons defense. He's not the.
Was that my original tweet? Was my original tweet, right?
No, your tweet was that.
My original tweet wasn't that Deion isn't the problem. It literally said that the issue at hand. Do I have to repeat it again?
No, you just posted it. You just posted it, and you assume that everybody was saying Deion Jones is the problem. That's not what I was saying. I never said he was the problem, but I said he was a problem. His play this year, his lack of effort is a problem on that defense. Now, everybody knows. Now, you're sitting here and you're posting the sacks and the run defense. Everybody, see, the thing is, everybody knows that. We all know that they can't get to the quarterback. We all know that they can't.
So
can't stop the.
If we know that's the issue, what's the main issue with this Atlanta Falcons team? Let's stop beating around the bush and stop talking about one particular.
On which side?
There's a bigger issue. The tweet literally said there's a bigger issue at hand. Debo is fine. There's a bigger issue at hand.
That's where I come in and say he's not fine. The bigger issue at hand is definitely, yes, the defense is bad.
Okay. That's exactly what's the point. That's exactly the point.
However, his lack of effort and his play is an issue as well. And he's not fine. And you use the tackle numbers as a reason, and that's not a good reason to build any type of argument about anybody being.
If I'm using the tackle number as a reason as to why are you then using tackles missed as a reason why he's not as good? So there's a catch-22.
Because anybody can sit here and say that a player is good. If you're going to sit here and use tackle numbers, then Foye Oluokun just had one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen of all time, because he's had the 7th highest tackle rate, a 2nd highest tackle total in NFL history. But we're not going to go that far and say that, right? We're not, because tackles are just tackles. Paul Warlow should have been a Pro Bowler the year he had 100+ tackles, right? If that's what we're going to build our argument off of, then we just going to put anybody, we're going to make anybody all pro just because he got 100+ tackles, 130 tackles. Foye Oluokun was the best linebacker in the league this year, then, since he had 192 tackles. But we're not going to make that argument. Now, when it comes to Deion Jones is arguably the leader of the defense. He's definitely the higher paid between him and Oluokun. There's a lot expected of him. What is not expected of him is to be 3rd in the league in missed tackles. That's not expected of him. That hasn't been his thing. His play has dropped off over the past couple of years. That was the point I was trying to make. He has a certain level of expectation, okay? Being 3rd in the league in missed tackles is not part of the expectation. Being 3rd in the league in yak allowed, regardless of position, is not part of that expectation for Deion Jones. He's been an all-pro.
So you brought up yak. You actually brought up yak, all right? Yak yards is what?
Yak yards allowed after catch.
What yard after catch? So if we're getting pressure, what doesn't that affect? Should that affect not only the defense in its entirety, but like if you're not getting pressure, then the quarterback has more time to actually get rid of the ball. If he's getting pressure and he doesn't have as much time, shouldn't that help the defense?
Yeah, but he's not. The defense is not.
See, and that's the issue.
The defense is not.
You're trying to focus on one particular player.
No.
When there's a greater issue.
Yeah, you're taking the words. You're taking the words and you forming it in the way you want to form it to build your argument. I'm not focusing on Deion Jones. I just sat here and said that the defense can't get pressure. That he's not the only problem on defense. You want me to point out any other players for you so you can feel happy about that too? Dante Fowler.
Yeah, you can actually do that. Because all I've been hearing is Deion.
Let me do it then. Dante Fowler, underwhelmed. Steven Means should not have been a starter. Fabian Moreau misplays this year. Let's see. Deron Harmon dropped several interceptions, as did Eric Harris. I would like to see 2 new starters at safety next year. You want me to keep going? Because I did not point out Deion Jones as the only problem on his defense. Now, I just gave you half the defense, so don't sit here and say that I'm only focusing on Deion Jones. I just gave you half the starters that were all issues this year.
So
You need
based
anything else?
on what you said, because he's Deion Jones, he's basically he's not supposed to have a down year.
No, more is expected from him. And when it comes to Deion
More
Jones,
expected.
it's beyond.
So if you have
when it
if
comes
you have
to Deion
lesser
Jones,
talent,
when it comes to Deion Jones, it to this year was not the down, was only the down year. He has actually
so
been
let's
regressing the last couple of years.
flip that. Let's flip that. What if Matt Ryan doesn't have Julio Jones? What if Matt Ryan doesn't have Calvin Ridley? What if Matt Ryan doesn't have a running game? What if he doesn't have an offensive line? Is he still expected to put up 4,000 or 5,000 yards?
No, he's actually not expected. I didn't expect him to put up 5,000 yards.
Exactly the
You know Julio Jones. I didn't expect
exactly the point. Exactly the point.
That's not a point. So let me.
Come on, dog. You can't say that Deion is expected to be great when he doesn't have the stars around him.
Because
you can't say that. Come on, bro. You're literally saying that Deion has because he's Deion Jones. He's not. Come on, dog. Come on. Stop it. Come on.
So when has the Falcons actually have a pass rush during the time Deion Jones has been in Atlanta? They never really
That's
had
the point, bro. This is exactly what we're saying.
They've never had. So if they've never had a pass rush, how come all of a sudden he's third in the league in missed tackles this year? You can't use that premise when they haven't had a pass rush this entire time. They haven't had a pass rush this entire time. We haven't seen him miss
2022. 2,200 yards rushing. 2,200 yards rushing that they've been giving up. That's why the defensive line, and this is the issue that we have. He doesn't have the talent around him.
He's never
but somehow
had
he's
talent
expected
around
to still
him.
be the same.
He's been there.
Of course, he's had better talent. So you're telling me that this team is the same? You're telling me that this team still has the same quality of players?
Everybody, calm the hell. Hey, 17 tackles in a year.
Okay. Calm it down.
He's never missed 17 tackles. Now
hold on. Let me say this, KStylzz. Let me say this. What you're telling me that this team, this 2021 team, still has the same level of talent that he had in previous years.
It's worse.
I'm done.
It was better last year.
Hey, Eric, I got a question. Okay, who like what? Hey, Eric, I got.
Oh my gosh, man!
I got
last year.
You
think Steven Means is starting material? You think Steven Means is starting material?
That's the point. This is exactly the point, dog.
No, that's not proving the point.
If the talent is worse, how is he expected to be great?
The talent has been bad in Atlanta since he's been here. You're saying that they haven't had a pass rush. Bro, they haven't had a pass rush since his rookie year. But he hasn't missed 17 tackles in a season in his career to this year. He was a third in the league. He hasn't given up this many yak at all since he's been in the league. But now we want to sit here and say, well, damn, they ain't got no talent. They ain't had no talent in 2018. They didn't have any talent around him in 2019. They still didn't have a pass rush last year. Go ahead. Your question.
All right. So my question is, who like you said he was third. Who was the top 5 in missed tackles as far as the whole list? Who you had at the whole list?
It was C.J. Mosley was second. Alex Singleton was first with 20. I didn't recall the other two that were behind him. Not quite sure exactly who they were. I didn't really care. I just know that my start middle linebacker, who hasn't really had an issue with missed tackles throughout his career, is all of a sudden third in the league in missed tackles this year.
But I think where it's coming down to is if we're saying, okay, has this been an issue before this year?
No.
In your eyes?
No, it hasn't.
So I think where Mike is coming from is more so of okay, you have a down year, why get rid of somebody just for one down year if you know they've had a history of not playing like this?
His skill set, in my opinion, it has regressed a little bit over the last couple of years, and it all stems from the effort. You're not going to see effort in a stat sheet, so we can sit here and look up tackle numbers all we want. We can sit here and look up that Foye Oluokun had 192 tackles, but you're not going to see effort on a stat sheet. But where you're going to see it is actually on the film, in the game, when you're seeing the fact that he's. I remember in particular the home game against Atlanta. I mean, not Atlanta, against Tampa Bay. Home game against Tampa Bay. There was one particular play where you're supposed to pick up someone coming in motion. He's walking as the receiver is in motion, and because of that, he misses the coverage. It gives up a big play. There's one particular play this year that he had against the Saints at home. They had a little dump off, I believe, to a tight end in the flats. He had a one-on-one situation in the flats, able to square up and get the tackle, misses the tackle. No one's blocking him, but his effort. The effort is what's going to show up. We can bring up the Buffalo play where he gets blocked by 5'8" Isaiah McKenzie. He spin moves off Isaiah McKenzie. He's 5'8", 173 pounds. You outweigh him by 40, 50 pounds, Dion. You can shrug him off. We've seen you do that before. The effort is the thing that's in question when it comes to Dion.
Okay, hey, hold on. Let me say one thing. Okay, hold on, Mike. Let me get this right quick.
Go ahead.
All right, so if it was 17 minutes, so that means he missed one tackle. He missed one tackle a game. If it's 17 minutes,
you can spread it out as that. Yeah, but if a quarterback throws 17 interceptions, he throw one interception per game. You still gonna think that's fine? If a quarterback throws 17 interceptions, that's fine. If Matt Ryan throws 17 interceptions,
depends on how he throws those 17. It could be tip passes.
Okay.
It could be
Situationally, right?
It could be deeper than just 17 interceptions.
Yeah, 17 missed tackles is 17.
I mean, yeah, like I said, this year as far as the missed tackles, like I said, we've already addressed the missed tackles.
Problem.
No, Mike hasn't addressed the missed tackle.
No, on this show we've addressed that.
We've addressed.
I don't see it.
Hey, look. We said he did. He does the Shao Kahn shoulder charge at times. That's where a lot of the missed tackles come in.
Thank you. Finally, somebody.
Yes, he does that.
He does that.
But this let me ask you this, and this is where the issue. This is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a lack of talent now, why is it there's like you're saying that Dion has regressed? And if the talent isn't around him, how do we truly know that he's regressed if the talent isn't around him? Because talent is on your card. You said the talent isn't as good as it once was in previous years.
Oh, hey, hold on. Before y'all get
go ahead.
Hey, we gotta let Vlad and Marquise talk here, get their perspectives on this topic right quick. Whichever one of y'all want to start, go ahead. And how do y'all feel about this topic? And whoever just wants to start.
Yeah, go ahead, Marquise. Go ahead. Let Marquise go. Malik, damn, my bad.
Malik, my bad.
Hey, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First things first, Mike, I'm a big supporter of yours. Like, I think I was introduced to Mad Mike Sports. It was about 2017. You had a video about Steve Sarkisian, and like I was laughing so hard watching the video. I don't even remember what it was about, but it was a pretty solid video. And from that moment, like last 3 or 4 years, I've been a big supporter. So I like what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it.
As of Deion Jones and the defense, it is really hard to try to explain the who, what, when, where, and why about Deion Jones, because I do believe that on one hand, you can say, for example, hey, I walked the dog, but you don't exactly mention sometimes, oh, well, I didn't exactly walk the dog. I just sat there with the little 60-foot leash and the dog did all the walking and I got dragged down the sidewalk. So I can understand like the tackle stats don't exactly show the true story. And I know it's also frustrating sometimes when you see Deion Jones trying to tackle someone, especially in the open field, and you just see somebody in black just flying across the screen, and you're wondering, like, who the hell is that? And then you look like, oh, it's 45. All right,
Deion,
cool.
overrunning plays and missing tackles. He does.
Yeah. I mean, when he hits hard, but it's just so funny to just see him flying across the screen, and you're just like you said, KStylzz doing a little raiding dive, and then Foye, when he tries to sack the quarterback, he lunging like he about to do a crossbody off the top rope, like in the I think it was that Saints game when it was the roughing the passer call. He lunged up at the.
Oh, that was a terrible.
Do a crossbody from the top rope. I don't know what that was.
That was terrible.
Hey, I'm sorry when you said that. Hey, like I said, I always say it like this. My bad. I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to put this out there. I say sometimes it always look like Rey Mysterio jumping off the top rope. Sometimes.
What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do on that play?
He does that. I think Deion Jones is the most difficult player. When you look at this Falcons team, I think Deion is the most difficult player to assess because he needs so much around him for him to be successful. He needs a nose tackle that's 330 right, because he is small. Well, and at times he can be incredibly undisciplined. He takes those chances.
Let me put this out there to you then, Mike. Okay, so I think you should at least understand the level of concern when it comes to his play. When it comes to a season like this, where he had the 17 missed tackles, he didn't look good in certain spots with his effort. He's coming up on a pay raise next year where he's going to be making north of $10 million. So at least the fan level's concern is like, well, damn, we're seeing this from him, and he's about to get paid. He's about to get a raise next year, along with the salary cap situation that the team is already in. So it's kind of sort of like a reasonable concern.
Right, you take it.
Honestly, I think it all kind of feeds into each other. Honestly, I think both of you are right. I'm going to break it down for you. I kind of look at it from Deion Jones's point of view of like, okay, I don't got nobody around me this year. You know, they got me next year. They'll get me somebody in and help me next year. Okay, next year comes around. Man, I still don't got nobody around me. They got me next year. I think eventually having that lack of talent is leading to this, regression in effort because Deion's like, damn, they've been telling me this for years and years, and all of a sudden I'm looking around, I still ain't got nobody. So I'm thinking it kind of feeds into the other, basically, where it's like, okay, team keeps saying I'm going to get people around me, I still ain't got nobody around me, and it's making him just not care anymore. Like he's just like, they don't got me. Like they've been saying this, I still don't got nobody. So you got him taking these plays off, like Eric was saying, like, giving up these big plays or whatever, because it's kind of demoralizing when you keep thinking you're going to have somebody to kind of back you up, and it's just year after year after year, you don't got nobody. And it leads to these plays where, like he was saying in Buffalo, for example, where he gives up these big plays or, these blown coverages or whatever. So I think you're both right, honestly. I think one leads to the other, if I had to break it down.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this. Let's start with Eric and then go with Malik. If that's the case, I won't, because I feel as though Deion Jones is probably the most difficult player on his team to kind of gauge because he does have those lapses where you're looking at him like, damn, what the hell? Because he takes chances. He does, in fact, shows those what the fuck moments where it's like, damn, like, why do you not, like, why the hell, like, you didn't touch a guy. Like, he will knock the hell out of Cam Newton, and then the next thing you know, he's getting blocked by guys like Isaiah McKinney. So I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Hold on. I gotta say this. I have to say this. But what about Grady Jarrett? I've said this before. The one thing that is stopping Grady Jarrett for really becoming the great is his lack of sacks. So what is your take on Grady Jarrett? Because we're talking about salary cap, and we had guys that are not, they're expected to be, let's just cut all the fluff as far as Grady Jarrett. We're expecting Grady Jarrett to be Aaron Donald. That's what he's expected to be. with just his ability and what he's being paid. So does that same logic applies to a guy like Grady Jarrett and Deion?
So
or should we just like?
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I think we all can agree on this. When Deion is Deion, he's elite. He's the top linebacker in the game.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody gonna argue with me on that. When Deion is Deion, Deion can make plays. He can change the game.
Right.
When it comes to Grady, and you do have a point, because that's something that the team is going to have to address this offseason one way or another. You know, Grady's getting ready to make roughly $20 million this upcoming season. In this particular 3-4 scheme, I'll be honest, he ain't gonna get Aaron Donald numbers. Not playing a 5-tech.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
He's not playing a 5-tech in this scheme. He's not gonna get Aaron Donald numbers, which means him coming close to Aaron Donald money. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that.
Not in this system.
Not in this system. If we would have, if somehow, some way Dan Quinn was still there, they still had a 4-3 thing installed, and he was able to play his natural 3-tech and fire up the ball that way, play over the center, then bam, we can have that conversation all day. Grady Jarrett is one of the best defensive tackles in the game. So that's a viable question right there, Mike. Like, are they? Because to be quite honest with you, I think it's fair to say that Grady may actually be on the trade block this offseason, depending on, if a team comes and, throws a trade scenario on the table.
One of the things I think Grady has probably better than any player in the league is his mental toughness. Like, Grady's mental toughness, he looks around left or right of him every season. He's got nobody on both sides of him, and he's like, nah, I'm still going to go get this. He doesn't care who's around him.
Yeah.
And that's me personally, if I'm talking about a player, I don't care who it is, if it's a drafty, if it's a guy that's been playing as long as Brady. If you don't have that mental toughness, the second that mental toughness starts to slip, you start to slip as a player. If you ask me,
I'll be fair. I'll be fair for the sake of the argument as well. This season, I saw some missed tackles behind a line of scrimmage that I don't normally see from Grady Jarrett.
Oh yeah, it was quite a few of them.
I can go back. I can go back to the Giants game where Daniel Jones ran through his arm tackle.
Daniel Jones, that's who it was. Right. That was Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones trucked him. And
I don't normally see it. Now, am I going to sit here and say they need to trade him because of that? No, but I'm looking at his play. It may not be the effort thing, but I'm looking at it like, okay, that's you or Grady Jarrett. You're making X amount of money. You're a certain player on this team. I've seen you make that play before.
Oh,
yeah. With Deion Jones, I agree with you. Like, when Deion is Deion, like I haven't seen in a while like a middle linebacker with that kind of speed, explosiveness, that kind of. I mean, he is amazing. And the same goes with Grady Jarrett, because even though he's a bit undersized, as they call it, to be a true nose tackle, he just has like that grit, and he has that quickness, and it's like, I respect so much his mental fortitude, because like you said, he looks over to his left, looks over to his right, and it's like, okay, I got a bunch of garbage cans, I might have a used up dish rag right here, and he always says, you know what, we're gonna put our best foot forward. And I'm looking like, dude, you're the only one that it looks like you're the only one with the foot on the entire line. Like, everybody else just be looking like, okay, like as soon as the ball snaps, they just fall right on the ground, and then that's it, And I feel like both Grady and Deion would benefit so much if you just had just a body. And I don't mean like have a Tyler Davidson body. I mean like if you just add a Jordan Davis kind of body, and just because I remember after that Alabama game, the first Alabama game, it was like Jordan Davis that. But when you see him play against Michigan and against Alabama the second time, and seeing how he just casually shoves these people like they're a bunch of middle schoolers, like that's the kind of body that you need in order for a Grady Jarrett and especially a Deion to get free. In order for them to fully show their quickness and their speed and their strength and things like that, I don't really care. Like if you put Mike Pennell or Anthony Rush, at some point you need somebody that's gonna, without a shadow of a doubt, have sitting there standing over these other offensive linemen at 6'7", 6'8", 380, and have them thinking, okay, we got to double that guy before anything even happens.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, because the one thing that I would say, now they will not trade Grady, and this kind of goes to what Eric was saying earlier about Deion Jones as far as the effort plays. How many tackles have you seen Grady Jarrett make 5 to 10 yards down the field? You don't see that from most defensive linemen nowadays. So is the problem more so, and it kind of goes back to Deion as well. But like I said, is the problem really just the individual or as the team itself?
I think it's a combination. To be honest with you, when it comes to Deion, I know for sure Deion's frustrated. I get it. Like, bro, you went to the Super Bowl your rookie year, and y'all were that close to winning, and the franchise has taken a step back year after year after year ever since. I get the frustration has built.
Doesn't help his line can't keep him clean either.
It doesn't help that there isn't a ton of talent around.
Hey, y'all just brought up something. Y'all just made me think about something. So
damn, KStylzz, you hit me. I was thinking the same thing.
So when do you feel like, because the way that we're talking right now is kind of made me realize the not signing of Don Terry Poe might have been one of the key factors on why this defense has been dipping since. Because if we remember that 17 season when Grady had Don Terry Poe next to him, you saw that, okay, because he knew he had that guy next to him that was gonna give you that same
right. But like the point was brought up about Grady. When it comes to Grady, we never had to question his effort.
Nah, right.
It was gonna be there regardless. You was gonna get all 6 feet, 310 pounds every game for 4 quarters. But it's been a question for Deion. So I guess we're looking at it like, okay, in my opinion, throw salary out the window. We look at Grady, we look at Deion in the same light, in my opinion. They were drafted what, a year apart, I believe, or the same year. But they're leaders on this defense.
Grady was drafted a year before.
They're leaders on this defense. So when it comes to them and their placement on this team, like they're in the same light. So if I'm getting that effort from Grady Jarrett, who plays a more rugged position than Deion Jones, then we shouldn't have to throw that question out there when it comes to him. When it comes to trading Deion Jones and getting rid of him, that's a different conversation for a different day. But when it comes to his play this season, I wasn't fond of his play. I wasn't proud of his play. I think he's taken a step back the past couple of years, and I expected more from Deion, just as much as I expect from Grady. And Grady's always going to be there. That's one thing I can count on. It don't matter who we playing. It don't matter how bad the team is. I guarantee you Grady Jarrett is going to give his 100%. With Deion, I don't know.
So my question would be, Falcons get that nose tackle that Dean Pease always has in his defense. Do you think that could be the jolt for Deion to get back to what we know as Debo?
It could.
I'd say yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Because one thing I noticed when we play against like pass heavy teams, and especially I'll use Tampa Bay. Normally in other games, you notice when you send pressure or when you send a blitz from one of the linebackers, normally the running back will either pick up that linebacker or the edge, depending on where the blitz is coming from. Has any of you guys noticed that when we send pressure, as soon as we'll see Deion or Foye in their position before the ball snaps, but then as soon as the ball snaps, they're getting blocked by a left guard because somehow, some way they can't get through. It's almost like the offensive linemen on the other team completely disregard our defensive tackles and just move on over. Okay, let's get Deion. oh,
See,
let's
the
get Foye,
thing,
and then that's it. And like that, like, and so meanwhile, you got the running back just sitting there like, okay, so can I swing or something? Like I'm
see,
bored. Like,
the
can
thing,
I swing or do an out or something?
the thing about Dion though, it's always been kind of an issue with it is when he gets engaged in a block, he has a hard time disengaging that block.
He getting
Yeah, he
off.
do.
Yeah, that's
He
what
do.
I'm saying. So it's
He
like,
ain't getting off.
having somebody like a Jordan Davis in the middle of the line there to keep him clean. Because I think that's could be one of Dion's saving graces if he had somebody to keep him clean so he doesn't have to worry about disengaging blocks. He can just go do his job. I think
it can help. It can definitely elevate the play of the defensive line and the linebackers behind them. I just look at there's times where, especially this year, Dion had an opportunity to make a play where he didn't have that nose tackle in front of him, and he missed on plays that we've normally made.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But you're not going to make every play. But again, there's a certain expectation level when it comes to a guy like Deion Jones. So again, when it depends on how the team they're going to have a couple of decisions to make, because they can very well sit here and say, hey, we're going to build around Grady and Dion and Foye and AJ, or they can have an option of parting ways with Dion or Grady. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, the salary is definitely going to come into question. I mean, they're strapped for cash right now. So we'll see what they do. But there's no doubt that even with this particular scheme, we can throw out all the numbers, we can throw out all the stats or whatever. In this particular scheme, there's certain components that is needed for this scheme. For a Dean piece, for a 3-4 scheme. One is definitely a true nose tackle. You haven't had a true nose tackle. Davison is not a true nose tackle. I'm sorry. He's undersized. Anthony Rush, he's solid.
That's why we call him Route 96.
Anthony Rush might be at his ceiling already, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's going to get any better, to be honest with you. Shit. Tyler Davis is better off for serving pizza at Stevie B's. Yeah.
Stevie B's don't want him. Stevie B's don't want him.
I always felt Stevie B's shouldn't even be on a 2D. Stephen Means is a practice squad player. I'm sorry. There's no reason why. Y'all trying to get me in a rant part 2 on that. I'm not trying to do that.
We're gonna stay away from that one.
Now, I got
we're gonna stay away from that.
Look.
I think
Mike, his new name is not Stephen Means anymore. It's Double O Nothing. That's his name. We got 007, he's 00 nothing.
Now, I actually have a question to pose. How do you see a contract extension or restructure for Dion this offseason?
I don't know for Dion, maybe for Grady. Because again, I mean, he's going to be making 20 plus.
Yeah.
Is he willing to give a few dollars back to help the defense?
That's where I was going with that.
You talking about
that's
Dion?
where I was going with that.
You talking Grady? Grady. I think he
Grady.
probably would. Cause I know some people might be thinking y'all might have been talking about Dion's contract as far as restructuring. Because I remember Dion already did it twice.
Well, I mean, either one.
He ain't restructuring nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
I'll say this. I think defenders, if you're going to play in a Dean Pease system that has had success, I think those guys in this defense, they understand that you're not going to be able to you're not going to get paid a $15-16 million because of the style of defense, and you can rotate the inside linebackers as long as you have the right front. So I think Dion understands that fact. That's one of the main reasons why he restructured, and I can honestly say that Dion is obviously out of his prime. I don't think he is that same Dion that we been accustomed to seeing for the past 6 years or so. But I think I think one of the things that when I'm looking at Dion Jones, I'm not looking at Dion Jones for solely as a middle linebacker. I'm looking at Deion Jones as a jack of all trades because we do have to remember he led our team in sacks, okay? With 4.5 sacks. He's an excellent cover guy, and he is one of the best. He is one of the better tacklers. So I don't necessarily look at Deion Jones as that guy. So I don't think he is. I don't believe that you're going to see Deion Jones with $10 million plus. All right? I just don't think you're going to see him make that money. He's going to have to come to agreement that Fourier is obviously the new guy in town, and he's going to have to take a pay cut if he wants to stay in Atlanta. And if he doesn't, Mike Walker is already standing right next to him, ready to take over.
Mike Walker need reps.
See, here's the crazy thing though about restructuring, because it's because the thing is, you ask a player in the previous regime, like, hey, let's restructure your deal so we can get more talent. The talent doesn't come. So now at this point, push the money so far back, and now at some point you're like, okay, I want to at least get some of what I originally signed for. I mean, I'm not finna. Don't just ask me now, like, hey, we now need you to cut the money that you still haven't gotten, just so we can possibly get more players. So because I mean, hey, like that's why there's been like so many talks about possibly trading him for like a decent pick or something like that for that very problem.
Getting back to what Mike was saying, though, do you think Arthur Smith and all of them already informed Deion, like, look, you're not going to be this dude, it's going to be Foye, and that's kind of just like, hit Deion like, damn, I'm not that guy anymore?
Nah, I don't think it.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it got that far. When it comes, you got to keep in mind with Pease. Pease has something similar in Tennessee in these type of linebackers, and Rashad Evans.
Yeah, that's true.
He's used to working with somewhat of an undersized, athletic inside linebacker. He's done that before. And when it comes to Deion, I honestly, he's like we already pointed out, he's already worked that contract twice, man. He ain't doing it no more. He's ready for his pay raise, and I
forgot about that.
Yeah. Not once, twice.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I knew the first one, but I forgot about that second one.
I understand. So when it comes, like I said, when it comes to anybody reworking their deal, is going to be Grady, in my opinion. It's going to have to be Grady.
There's not much options, right?
There's not many options. They're strapped for cash right now, and I know Grady signed that contract, and you start to see it a little bit this year. Grady coming out with the with the custom suits and stuff, tailored suits. He walking like a guy that just got paid. I get it, but look, man, they're at a certain crossroad right now as an organization. They're teetering on whether they want to rebuild or whether they just want to kind of load up for one more run with Matt Ryan. And if Grady wants to give some money back to the team to help get an extra pass rusher, and then hey, man, that ain't gonna be a bad idea at all.
Right.
I think if you're gonna rebuild, then you got to actually go all out on the rebuild. And same with trying to do the best you can for this final run if that's what you want to do. Because the thing I never got over was right after the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, we're gonna retool so we can get ready for another run. Then you draft Zach McKinley instead of TJ Watt. Like that was the dumbest thing ever. Because if you're going to do stuff like that, why not just draft Patrick Mahomes in that same draft? Why not just do that and then with Matt Ryan get the most you can out of Matt Ryan, who just won an MVP? Like you can't just halfway do it. Be like, okay, we're gonna do this and that.
One thing I really disliked about that last regime, man, the level of complacency that they put on the team. Like they were like, yo, we're gonna be all right.
That killed me.
And yeah, after that Super Bowl, they said, you know what, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna run it back. We didn't even try to restructure deals to go get extra players. We didn't really care about maneuvering a whole lot in the draft to kind of load up on the depth at least.
They made two mistakes that year. The first one, I don't want to sound too nitty on this one. The first one they did was the Devontae Freeman contract. Only reason why I say that was because that was the opportunity for you to give Matt Ryan that contract. Now you ain't paying Matt Ryan as much as you did if you had did it the year before. And what that would have done is that would have opened up the cap space a lot more. Now we just looking at it from hindsight, from looking at it from back here and now.
Yeah.
The biggest issue was giving Robert Alford that contract. I think that's where
that too
took a turn for the worse when they gave him. He was clearly not the guy to be getting for a $30 million. Like he's Robert Alford. He's showing you nothing but failure.
I think what
pretty much it.
What irked me was when it came to Tack and Beasley, they never brought anybody in to give them any type of heat. They just said, you know what, y'all gonna be our pass rushers, y'all gonna lead this defense. And I'm like, where are you seeing it? You're seeing this based on potential, but the little things that are being done in the offseason, Beasley not working out, you know, Tack, you know, staying hurt. Like, you guys are not bringing in any type of competition for these guys. These guys are sitting on it saying, you know what,
you know what I mean? They had no reason to step it up. Like, they look behind them like, well, nobody back there. You know what I mean? Like,
they got complacent.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
because people forget that people get so caught up in how the defense played in the Super Bowl for that first half. Remember, they were the 27th ranked defense in the league that year. They were one of the worst defenses to ever play in the Super Bowl, period. But for some reason, they said, you know what, we're good where we are because we had, at the time, the 8th best offense in NFL history. In 2018, after Devontae Freeman kept getting injured, they didn't retool their running core. They were like, okay, we're going to keep Devontae Freeman for another year. And then he kept getting injured. And then all that dead cap money.
You know what they also banked on? They banked on, because if you remember, Dan Quinn took over the play calling late in that season. And when he took over the play calling,
everybody was hype about that too.
When he took over the play calling late in that season, the turnover started to happen and they started to get a few sacks. The defense had a very good run in the playoffs. And all of a sudden they were like, all right, you know what? We figured it out. Just let Dan call the plays. But for that one little sample size, that was like what, 5 or 6 games worth?
Right.
All right, we good. We got it now.
See, but the key, but we also have to remember around that time, the key for that, and I'm go ahead and bring Ellis in here as well. But remember at that time when he took over, you have to remember the guys that was stepping up. Remember, you still had Jonathan Babineau. That was your leader. That was your alpha. You had Dwight Freeney stepping in a little bit.
Who I still think they should have brought him on as a D-line coach.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Oh my God. Yeah. That was somebody I don't Rashid Hageman. I don't care what nobody says. Rashid Hageman was a vital part of that defensive line, man.
Yes.
He allowed those guys to mix match. He could mix match these guys, and that's why I say gotta have that big guy in front that you can just move around and mix match and play dominoes, play chess with that defensive line. You don't know where the pressure is going because you got this big 366, 340-pound guy that he could be on the edge, he could be in the middle, and he can.
That's how that Seattle defense was ran, where on occasion they had that 300-pounder playing at defensive end. Remember when they had like Red Bryant? On certain occasions, rundowns, they would kick Red Bryant out to the to defensive end spot, and all of a sudden you're looking like, damn, where the pressure coming from?
And then they put Michael Bennett at defensive tackle, letting him be
Bennett inside. Yeah, that's let him.
Yeah. LS, what's going on, man? What's going on?
What's going on, man? Missed y'all, man. It's been a minute, man. I've been out doing MIA, man.
We see you, man.
Man, got doing. Hey, man. This year, I ain't mad at this year, bro.
I think you got a little bit more gray hair than usual, man. God dang, boy, this season.
Yeah, man. The seasons, man. Then what? So you know how everybody else got doing coming involved in your life. You know what I'm saying? They're family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Like, boy, now I just got to carry on these little extra responsibilities until they grow up. You feel me? That's how it is.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. What you got for us, man?
Man, look, man. Quick thought. Jordan Davis. I know a lot of people say, you know what I'm saying, it's other cats out there, you know what I'm saying, that can do the same thing that he do. And why I disagree with that is it's a couple things. Remember when they played Alabama, right? The first time in the SEC championship? You remember how tired he was? Remember how they wore him out? But think about the fourth quarter in the national championship. Them cats were just chilling up there like they ain't even started. They really put in the work. He really put in that work. You know what I'm saying? To be conditioned. You know what I mean? Like, that's some things that you just can't teach, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It was a rotation. He made a different. He made Kirby he made what he did was he used more as a defensive line.
Yeah.
And Jalen Smith, I believe that's his name. But he came in passing situations and took responsibility of that nose. He was more as an athletic nose than Jordan Davis was. So that's like, this is the reason why you have to have a plethora of guys up front so you can mix and match and keep certain guys off of the linebackers. This is why it's important to have these guys different skill sets in front of those guys, because you might want to go to a big package. If you got a big package, you got to have a guy like Grady Jarrett who's an end. He's still a defensive tackle, but he's quicker than the rest. And then you got a Jordan Davis, and then you got a Marlon Davidson. You kind of mismatch these guys with Davis. So this is the reason why you want to have a lot of guys instead of just focusing on one particular guy who has elite pass rushing skills, or just one of those generational type pass rushers like a Bradley Chubb and all those types of guys. So I get it. I don't think if you're looking at Jordan Davis as a defensive guy that's going to be one of those generational, he's going to completely change this defense. He's not that guy. He's a part of the puzzle. He's a piece of a greater scheme, and that's how you should look at a Jordan Davis.
Yeah, because it's like his power, bro. It's like that's a big dude to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
And think about,
and like them first two downs, it's like he ain't got to be there all three downs. But I look at like those first two downs, like whether you choose to pass or to rush, I mean the pass or to run the ball, like he's gonna be a threat. You know what I mean? Regardless. And he takes up so much space so Grady can get off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he take up a lot of room, bro, so they can get off.
Did you guys take him at 8?
Not at 8.
That's the question right
there.
That's
yeah. I'm
not at 8.
I'm doing the dog. I'm not doing it.
That's the question.
I'm not doing it. I know Dean P's scheme. He can get a guy later in the second round that can do that, but he has to trust his secondary in order to blitz and send these exotic blitzes that he wants to do. So I'm not taking Jordan Davis for that reason. I'm going for a guy, maybe a Stingley, maybe a Kyle, that high, because I know he needs to trust his secondary.
BPA.
Hey, I thought about Stingley, boy. Oh my God, Stingley and AJ Terrell, boy, that's a nice.
Because like think about it. Right? When you think about
that's nice.
Think about what DP said. He said we needed to work on applying pressure, but also having better coverage as well. If you have a better pass rush, that kind of allows it kind of allows the secondary to be a little more like, all right, cool. But if you improve your secondary and you have a safety up there that like you could play a cover 1 or a cover 2 man, and you know your safeties are down like in lock, that pays dividends. And there's not a lot of safeties that are 6'4", 220 pounds like Kyle Hamilton. A lot of them are like 5'11" or 6'1".
Knew somebody was gonna bring him
up.
Hey, that's a big man.
The interesting thing about Hamilton is
that's a big man.
So Hamilton, you can move Hamilton anywhere. He can play he can play strong. He can play free.
Right.
He can give you that big nickel look in the slot that can allow Richie and Jalen to play 2 safety deep. Like you can really get imagine if Dean were to have Hamilton disguised blitzes as a slot.
Yeah,
I got a question with that.
Exactly.
What do you do with Isaiah Oliver then?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say I don't know if I want to move out there. That's fine, bro.
He's another thing. That makes it even better.
Here's the question. Here's the question though. Wouldn't that be a good luxury to have? Like, wouldn't that be a problem we would want to have?
That's the thing.
I'd rather you have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
No, exactly.
But look, y'all. You know what y'all just did? Y'all just got something working in my brain. Cause I just thought about this just for a little second. Y'all just brought it up because I didn't think about this before. I would not be surprised if they do get a Kyle Hamilton if he drops.
I mean, I hope
because because the reason why I say this
so.
is the reason why I say this too is if we look at how this defense is constructed and how DPs like to play, they could use Kyle Hamilton as kind of like that small, basically another Deion Jones.
They can really get funky with a guy like Kyle Hamilton.
See, that's the thing about Kyle Hamilton.
You're pretty much drafting Kyle Pitts, and putting him at a safety position. That's pretty much what you're doing.
If you look at it from a pure talent standpoint, like you can argue that Kyle Hamilton is the most talented player in this draft period. So, like, I am hoping that is the pick at 8. Like that is ridiculous.
I know, and I'm pretty sure you guys will probably agree with me on this too. But I would not bring Isaiah Oliver back for a year. I think he's earned a chance to redeem himself in 2022. But if they were to go that route and draft Kyle Hamilton, like I'm not gonna sit here and say like, man, we got a problem.
That's the thing.
I'm looking at this like this is beautiful. Like you're giving a guy like DP so many playmakers. Like now he can do whatever he wants. Really
makes it. That man can walk into his office, take his playbook out, and just boom, and just take everything out at that point. Because here's the thing about Hamilton.
Wait a minute, y'all just got me thinking of something else. I'm finna ask y'all a question right here again. This is a scenario. See, Mike didn't tell y'all I'm the question guy, right? So I've
already made the video on Kyle Hamilton. I already spoke about this. Y'all late. Y'all gotta catch up to me. I already did this video.
Right, bro. We don't give a damn. We trying to. I've got this question. Because I know. Let's just say for draft let's just say this happens in the draft that people look at Jordan Davis's size as a disadvantage and he doesn't go in the first round. Would it be interesting? Because like I said, I know for me, if we don't get a Jordan, see, I'm kind of like the Devin Lloyd from Utah kind of guy. That's the guy that I like in this draft as well. What if there was a situation where you either got one of those players and you used your second round picks to trade back in the first round, late first round, and got Jordan Davis?
Let me answer your question with another question. So we know that the Jets are shopping that number 10 pick. Let's say hypothetically speaking, because we know they are god awful at receiver. Let's say we give up Ridley and maybe a 4th or something to get the 10th pick. What would you do with that 10th pick? Like, let's say we get Kyle Hamilton.
I'd look at
I'm looking at cap issue.
We
still have cap issue. I don't need to top.
Not in the top 10. Like I said, if you had the Dolphins cap situation, hell yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat. But right now we are assed out of money right now.
Well, honestly, my first option is to trade back in this entire. I don't care who it is. My first option is to trade back. I'm never against trading back. I don't care how good your team is or where you sitting at in the draft. Now, I would tell you this: a couple teams to keep an eye on that might be looking to trade up. The Chargers have a ton of cap space this year. They're sitting at 17. They're only a couple pieces. I can see them moving up to try to get a Stingley or Sauce Gardner.
See, as far as
I like the way y'all talking right now.
We said that because we saw. Well, I don't want to give up the source, but this guy pretty much stated, and I don't know if you guys know, but Cavalry has actually been allegedly seen in LA at Chargers games. So
Well, all right,
and
all right,
bringing that up,
all right.
you bringing that up
Mm.
really is kind of in.
Is that a trade partner?
Let me-
we
let-
talking
I was
about?
about to say.
Yeah, I remember you showed me the picture.
I was about to say, look out for Philadelphia.
Ooh.
So
But now that you say that, like, oh
I-
man,
let's say
They have cap issues themselves. So I don't know if long term they would want to invest in a Calvin Ridley because of those cap issues. Because they have to find a way to try to get out of that Fletcher Cox contract. So I don't think there's a good. It's still a match opportunity for them, but like long term, Calvin Ridley is going to want to get paid. Like that's just say he's going to go to a team with the cap space.
right?
He's going to go. So like I still think it's a possibility that he goes, but I'm thinking Philadelphia is going to do some sort of cap dump as far as one of their players is concerned.
Hey, well, let me ask y'all this question, man. Okay. Because one thing I just want them to do, for one thing, is just take care of the offensive line. After that, we can play with the defense. You get what I'm saying? I don't care really about anything else, really, at the moment. I just really want to stop that from happening. But on this defense, the way y'all talk, defensive line, secondary, right? How do you feel? Do you feel like if we increase the secondary, it will give the defensive line more time to get to the quarterback, or we need to beef up the defensive line, you know what I'm saying, to get to the quarterback?
Damn that. I want to get to the quarterback in less than 3 seconds.
Because
all right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro, you know what I mean?
Because of this scheme,
I'm like, God,
because of this particular scheme, this scheme calls, like, this scheme would not be successful, in my opinion. It's not going to reach its potential unless you have that big rock at nose tackle. You can go back to DP's days in New England, and who did he have? He had Vince Wilfork. And it was the engine that made that defense go. But I will say this, because of the position that the Falcons are in this year, they're at an opportunity this year to really get like a difference maker in the secondary. Like it's not often you come across a guy like Stingley. It's not often you come across a guy like Kyle Hamilton. So to me, in this scheme, the bigger priority is a nose tackle. But man, I can't sit here and say, dude, I got an opportunity to have two.
The thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
I would say nose tackle, but going by the best player available, it's like, man, do you really pass up on Kyle Hamilton for something like that?
Exactly.
Because
you do not.
The BPA is going to be a DB.
All of this will become clearer. I think all of this will become clearer if and when we do something with Calvin Ridley. Like, let's say Philly gives us the 15th or something like that, and then we use the 15th and trade back or something like that. Then it would make a little more sense. But right now at 8, like keeping our draft order the way it is at 8, I'm like, man, that is really tough. Because you can have a shutdown secondary, and it's like, okay, let's get a shutdown secondary in the free agency. We finna just get what we can in the pass rush, but that nose tackle and
we don't seen the Falcons do like that before now. We don't see them do that. You remember when we lost to the Eagles? You know, when Matt Ryan threw it to I can't remember, what was that, 17? 18?
Yeah, 17. Well, it was 17 and 18.
Yeah, remember in those playoffs, defensive line wasn't getting to anybody. But the secondary, like, remember when we played the Rams? Man, golf couldn't play. We weren't getting no boys nothing. They was knocking down balls. They was not getting nothing, and we was not getting on no pressure on the quarterback, bro.
See, the thing
what I'm
about
saying? I've seen it done before. You know what I mean?
See, the thing, getting back to what Eric was talking about earlier about Hamilton, though, is if you look at how DMPs like to construct his secondary or his defense in general, he likes to have guys he could move around a lot. And a guy like Hamilton, like he could, like Eric was saying, he could play slot. He could, be a box safety for you. He could be a free safety for you. I mean, hell, he can play linebacker if you need him to.
Or if you wanted to go to a 3 safety look.
Yeah, because you got Hawkins, you got I mean, it's ridiculous what you can do with him. So, like, me personally, for this system, he's my number one guy.
We actually saw that with
He's my number
We
one.
saw that with Hawkins. That's the interception that he
Yeah.
had in which game that was on the sideline. Well, there was a 3 safety look.
Yeah.
Was that
So
the
that's what
Dolphins
I'm
game?
saying.
Was that
As far
Miami?
as
When he had the
Yeah,
one in the end zone?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was Miami. He had Miami
Yeah.
and the Jet.
Miami. Yeah.
He had a back-to-back game.
So as far as this draft goes, like Kyle Hamilton is my number one guy in this draft, like period, regardless of position. That dude is
I
ridiculous.
believe so.
So like if
I really believe it's Kyle Hamilton.
if I genuinely think he could follow us today, because when these evaluators look at these safeties, they devalue safeties. They're going to take these tackles. They're going to take these defensive ends. They're going to take those kind of guys or corners before a safety. So a guy like Hamilton is a real possibility at 8. So if I was
and neither is Stingley. Like honestly, having a tandem like that, like that's giving me Patrick Surtain, Sam Madison vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember how those?
You just said exactly what I was thinking.
It's
right.
Dang, that don't come
when
across
you think about it, if you have a safety,
Stingley, Oliver, and Terrell. Oh, God.
Because if you have someone like Kyle Hamilton in the back, it allows someone like
Richie Grant is like Richie hasn't.
You say what? Richie Grant, what?
I love Richie, man. That's my guy.
I'm just saying Richie Grant is still in the picture. Like
that's why I said the thing is, if you get Kyle Hamilton, that shows that you either one of these guys gonna have to get used to being a backup role, or you gonna have to get rid of one of these guys. And I know that's a tough thing, but I see what y'all said as far as just being like that. Kyle Hamilton kind of reminds me of Jeremy Chin from the Panthers, kind of like that, move around, do it all type safety.
Yeah.
So
more athletic, faster, athletic. Yep.
You mean bigger?
Like Styles said, I
Yeah,
get
you
it.
just say that. Yeah, better.
But okay, like say like the cornerback from the Canadian Bacon League, right? So if he turns out like I like him, he looks good. You know what I'm saying? If they feel like he can lock down on their side, then I really don't have no problem with it. But golly, boy, that corner position, boy, I am tired of that shit.
You also gotta think about this
bro.
too. Like if you get someone like a Kyle Hamilton, like having just imagine you being a corner, and in previous years you had to kind of overcompensate a little bit just so the safeties don't get exposed. You have someone like Kyle Hamilton and Richie Grant out in the deep in the field. It allows someone like AJ Terrell to play a lot looser, because then maybe you can blitz AJ Terrell a little more instead of it just being AJ Terrell, you guard this guy.
And this
you press this guy. I mean,
he can take chances.
It's calling for everybody. It's calling for everybody to blitz in this scheme.
That's right.
It don't matter. Like if you're a corner, you're coming off the corner blitz. But the one thing we're also not mentioning when it comes to having a guy like Kyle Hamilton, and granted, Richie Grant is going to be a solid player. Isaiah is going to be a solid player for us long term. But the aspect of having a guy that's 6'4", 240 that can defend a Gronk, a George Kittle, a Travis Kelce, like I feel like in terms of that particular aspect, he's the best. He would be the best option on the team. You don't have to put that responsibility on Deion Jones anymore. You don't have to put that responsibility on a smaller Richie Grant. You got a guy that's 6'4", 240 that can run with these tight ends and can eliminate that equation. Like that, again, it opens up.
Not to mention, like you could have him set down like as a box safety, and you could blitz him too. Like somebody coming at you that's 240, 6'4", full blast. That's gonna rock a QB. Like there's a bunch of stuff you can do with him. It's crazy.
Yeah, my bad.
But,
I'm sorry.
Look when you would see.
No, I was saying my bad. I was just sitting here laughing because LS said the Canadian Bacon League. Oh, my bad.
They're starting.
That's what they look like they're doing. You know what I'm saying? You know how we used to play steal the bacon, man?
That went over my head.
We gotta tip the cap to them, man, because the last regime didn't do anything like this. The last regime didn't wait till the day after the regular season to say, "Hey, man, you know what? We're gonna start bringing guys in now."
Mm-hmm.
Like they just kind of like I'll give this current regime that they sat back, they look at it and say, "Hey, you know what, man? We need size in wide receiver. We need some more playmakers in the secondary."
I want to get y'all's take on Drake. I want to get y'all's take on Drake London. I've been watching some of his games or whatever, and for this system, I think he could be a key piece. Like, I think he could really be good in this system. How do y'all feel about him?
I like Drake London, and one thing that I like is the obvious, his size. Because if you look at the Arthur Smith schemes that were run, or that he tried to run here, but mostly the ones he was successful in Tennessee, his receivers weren't just fast, your average receiver. They were big and they were physical. When we went to the Super Bowl, we had some very physical receivers. I mean, of course, you had Julio Jones, like 6'3", 230. You had, Mohamed Sanu, and then you had some physical guys to run block. As the years went on, we were like, okay, we got Calvin Ridley, who may or may not run block. Russell Gage may or may not run block, and that just makes your run game, especially on the outside, a lot more difficult than it has to be. That being said, I'm not getting him at number 8. Like that would be probably the worst possible thing you could like.
I'm talking about maybe potentially one of those second. I'm talking about one of those potential second rounders or something, or maybe a third or something if he falls.
Oh, I could see that. He's not gonna fall.
But he ain't gonna fall that damn
You
far.
don't think he's gonna make it to round 2?
I don't think he's gonna make it past the Jets. Be honest with you, I don't think he's gonna make it past the Jets. Be honest with you,
he's not gonna make it.
I don't think so, because I was looking.
He'll be gone. I think Traylon Burks out of Arkansas will be gone in the first round. Of course, Jameson, Olave, Garrett Wilson, those guys will be there now.
Oh yeah.
Now let me pose this:
if they wanted to get some size, Pickens might be there at the top of round 2.
He's another guy I'm looking at. So I like Pickens a lot.
Oh yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I would take Pickens all day. You know why? Because of Matt Ryan and George Pickens.
The mentality he has, the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his catch radius, bro, it's off the charts. It don't matter where you throw it around him. Man, with Matt Ryan, they got a guy that can do that.
That's
oh my God.
That's all you need. Like I said, this is what I want out my wide receivers. You ain't got to run a 4-3. You ain't got to run a 4-4.
No.
I won't.
But he can get open.
But this is what I was about to say. Like I said, you better, like I said, as long as you able to have a catch radius in the intermediate and short game and block.
Hey man, look, I don't know how y'all feel. I'm a huge Wan'Dale Robinson fan.
Oh, he a dog, bro.
I know he's small. I get it. I know he's small, man.
He's scrappy though.
Well, I don't give a damn how small
That
he can be 5.
That's what we've been saying.
We don't
He
give
doesn't have a particular look. Let's dispel this right here. He does not need a particular size to be in his offense. He doesn't need a receiver to be a particular size. He needs guys that's going to play with a certain mentality. It's all about toughness, physicality, and you wanting
that can win
dominate your opponent.
Exactly. Exactly.
That can win one-on-ones. Wan'Dale can win one-on-ones.
Like I said, the dude could be 5'1", 140 pounds, but if he a dog out there, I'm gonna take him. We done seen some guys 6'3", 220 pounds that can't do shit out there.
Yeah.
It's been a history out there.
Like I don't think people understand. I don't think people understand how frustrating it is when you're watching the game, and there'll be the few plays that Matt Ryan has protection. He's in the pocket for like 5 seconds, but then when they show the play from another angle, I'm like, how come they're in man coverage, but yet you can't do a single slant? That doesn't even make sense to me. Like I'm looking, I'm like, wait.
Well,
I'm like a single slant against the slot corner.
Even with Ridley in play, that was my whole issue with the wide receiver core all this year. Like, these guys cannot win one-on-ones.
It's so terrible, bro.
So many problems trying to create separation. The only person I really saw that was like that had plays where he was wide open were Pitts. That's it. Like, Gage, these guys are covered. He's throwing passes to guys that are blanketed. You need those type of guys that are able to win one-on-ones, even if they don't have the size. When it comes to Wandale has the footwork. He can create separation on his own because of his moves, because of his ability to create at the stem. Like, it's just like those type of receivers are what Matt Ryan needs at this point.
It's like it's not a stat, but I know somebody has just it's something to where we have had the most receivers that as soon as they catch the ball, they're tackled. I'm talking about no yards after the catch.
And you know what makes
it ridiculous,
it kills worse.
They were one of the worst in the league, and yeah.
Man, don't nobody even make a mistake and fall. Get open, bro.
No, and what makes it worse, what makes this receiving core look even worse is, mind you, they're bracket covering Kyle Pitts. So at some point, somebody's got to be open. We can have an empty set 5 wide. They're bracketing Kyle Pitts, and yet nobody's open. And I'm
that's
like,
one thing that killed
where
me.
Where y'all going?
People.
And then
I think we saw too much of Pitts at X receiver. I don't need to see Pitts at X receiver, man. And I don't need to see him that much. He played it too much because of the fact that they didn't really have any type of threats on the outside.
That's what killed me though last year. People would always complain about Pitts' like lack of touchdowns. I'm like, have y'all not been watching these plays? Like, they not letting him.
He's bracketed.
Yo,
you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it on the broadcast.
I mean,
they got a safety. They got a safety over the top, or they sneaking a DB up underneath his route. Like he's bracketed, man.
Hey,
I mean, what showed everything to me was that play. What killed me was that play against New England where there was a slant, but then they ran into each other. But then what happened was, they're like, Matt Ryan threw a hospital pass. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. that route is not supposed to happen. They're about to dive into each other. Like they're trying to tackle each other like for the Patriots. It was so bad.
Did you have to remind me of the Three Stooges moment we saw on Thursday Night Football? Like I said, I was about to say, you can't get yak yardage if you can't get yak routes. You can't get yards after routes. This is what we talking about. Damn the catch. Like I said, can they get off the goddamn line of scrimmage?
No.
I forgot what game. I think it was the game against.
No.
See, that's the thing. They get locked down right there at the beginning of the play. They ain't really.
No one could.
I swear I saw this. I saw this at the 49er game. And we talked about on our post game show. We saw the 49er game. These I swear it was like Matt Ryan tried to get 4-5 seconds in here in the pocket. These wide receivers just now getting off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, man.
They're just standing there. They're just standing there. They're looking at Matt Ryan like, is he going to throw me the ball? Or do I have to move? Like, it's not like they're giving him permission to. Like, what's going on with you guys?
What is it? Yes, sir, boss. Can I run this slant?
Yeah, I was about to go to left, boss. Am I supposed to go right? Are you going to throw me the ball? Do I have to run fast? Do I run slow? What do I do?
Oh shit!
You could put Andy Dalton at cornerback, and our receivers still wouldn't get by him. That's how bad it was in that San Francisco game. Like, they'll go up 1 yard and then they'll turn around like, well, I did my job. Like, are you going to throw it yet?
That's why I look at George Pickens. I want somebody that's going to fight. Hit somebody in the throat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired. I want somebody to do something.
But
all right, Eric, you guys good on the time?
He won't stop
you
putting
good
his
on
hands
time,
on
everybody? We're gonna close it real soon. We've been going on for about 3 hours. Man, it's been a long day. Hey man, at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. It's about Falcons fans coming together, who can talk their differences out, and face to face, man to man, mano a mano, and just. This is what it is. It's about your knowledge against my knowledge. Who's gonna win? Like this is how I look. I'm in it's competition for me. I want to go against the best. I want to make sure that I have as much knowledge as I possibly can. Eric is obviously one of the best. I'm trying to take him out, so I hope he knows that I'm trying to take him out. I'm trying to come for that throne. I'm trying to be on ESPN. I'm trying to be on. Look, it's a competition, bro. Like, what you want me to say? You one of the best, so I'm coming for your throat.
Wow,
what you want me to say? Hi, Eric. Hi, can I be your friend? No, I want to take you out, bro. All love is all respect. Eric has done what a lot of people are afraid to do, is just come on the show and air his grievances, and they don't run like cowards. Mad respect for you for that. All right, so
it's hard talking.
You guys can give your last thought, huh?
It's hard talking back and forth on Twitter. That shit get aggravating.
And it is.
It is. We had two guys in the chat that
so
talking all kinds of mess and ran from the link, as they always do.
Where you at?
Aggravating.
Where you at?
Where you at?
Boy, them boys, hey, look. Hey, look, when we put them links out there, them boys ran from the chat. That's what they did.
They ran from it.
I was waiting. I want that link. Send it to me, man. Hey, if anybody want me to come on, man, chat some football. Let's do it. Let's send it right. Let me know.
Right, man. Like you said, at the end of the day, everybody has a point.
Yeah.
You just gotta put it out there. Like you said. Yeah. Y'all saw them bicker a little bit. That was the funny part.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
hey, we just want to see these boys win some football games, man. That's all.
Yeah. That's it. That's all. That's all.
Yeah. We want these boys to win some football games, man. Make us happy. I want to see my damn team in the playoffs. Shit.
Exactly.
I ain't trying to be like this every year.
But
you ain't lying.
Boy, Lord have mercy, man. We don't went from the Suki Hana Amber Rose slut walk defense to despicable me wide receivers, man. We don't need another catchphrase for some bad play.
we got our wide receiver core look like a bunch of Oompa Loompas.
I know. Like I said, I know the salary cap and the odds are against them a little bit, but I want them in the playoffs next year, man. Playoffs or bust. Let's do
it. Hey, I'm always like that, man. Shit, it's playoff or bust for me.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
Yep.
But yeah, everybody go ahead and get your final words for the night. Plugs, whatever y'all want to do. We'll go let Eric go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Just follow me on Twitter at _Eric_Robinson. If you guys want me to come back on and chop it up again, talk some draft stuff or whatever, man, just send me the link. Let me know. Give me the time and the place, and I'll be there.
Okay.
All right, gotcha. That's a plug.
Hey, gotcha. Y'all better stay tuned to that one. Just letting y'all know.
We had fun last time. We had Matt Carrolley last year on the draft. But it was one tiring. Woo, boy.
Look,
that was a long draft. 5 hours.
Bro, we did 15 hours total on that draft.
Damn.
Do you know how hard it is to come up and crack jokes for 15 hours?
Hey, look,
we got old boy big head. Boy. Oh my god!
I don't know how long they're gonna have me working the draft this year, but if I got some free time and y'all want me to hop on, just let me know, man.
I'll definitely
come aboard.
All right, fellas, y'all go ahead and give y'all final thoughts. All right, man. Appreciate you joining.
Man, I just want to say it was good, man. Get back up here, man. You know what I'm saying? Talk this football with y'all, man. And I'm still on the same thing I was last year. I just want them to stop hitting Matt Ryan. That's all I want to do. I take a top 20 defense just to stop hitting Matt Ryan. Just give me that. Damn, just give me that. Just stop hitting him, bro. Just stop. I'm tired of seeing the man on the ground. I'm tired of it. I don't know why we can't figure that out. That's all I got to say.
Oh man.
What I'll say for my final remarks is I have a lot of optimism for what we can do, because if we can go 7-10 with two very winnable games at the end with what I believe Washington and Carolina, if we go 7-10 with this roster, given how everything happened at this point, the sky's the limit. But I think one thing that has to happen though is, as fans, we have to still apply pressure on management. Because I think with Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitrov, it was like, well, they didn't do good, but they're nice people, so we'll give them another chance when that isn't good enough. But other than that, I enjoyed my first time being on Friday Night Madness. I look forward to coming back on again because I had a lot of fun seeing all the debates and things like that. So I appreciate y'all for having me on.
Hey man, go ahead, Black.
No, I was just gonna say I appreciate y'all having me on like always, KStylzz and Mike. I love talking football anytime I get a chance to, and I'm just gonna tell the people to, just enjoy the process. At the end of the day, we ultimately can't control what happens, so don't get too emotionally invested in it. Just have fun with it, and just like I said, have a good time. But like I said, I'm on Twitter at VladTepis490. I'm always up to talk football, and like I said, I appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all take care.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate that. Man, hey, man, this was a good one tonight, man.
It was a good one.
It was a good one.
I've been stirring up trouble all day, and I ultimately got what I wanted.
You got what you want. Hey,
got what I wanted. That's all I need.
Hey, look. But this is what we keep telling people. If you got something, if you disagree with anything we say, bring your asses on. Don't be talking shit in the comment section. Don't be talking shit in the chat. We call it Friday Night Madness for a reason. This is y'all show to come on. And if you disagree with what we got to say, hey, we talking about it. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you saw Mike and Eric. They disagreed like hell for about 10 minutes.
And ultimately came to the same conclusion.
Damn. Exactly.
You see how that worked, though?
Exactly. Did you see the energy went from this, and then it just went down to it went down to KStylzz calm level. It went down that level. You see how that goes? But like I said, we got to have these platforms out here to talk football. Let's just be honest with you. A lot of people that be looking at these ESPNs and these Fox Sports and be getting a lot of the information. Like you said, you're talking to guys that's been journalists and played the game. So yeah, you get that aspect. But just because somebody have a different opinion, this is what we have to learn as well. As people got different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk it. I would rather you come on this show and give your opinion and have, like I said, have the conversation and give your opinion, than you sitting up here in the chat the whole time spamming bullshit. And then when the link comes on here, then you're scared. Then you don't want to click it. You sitting here typing every 2 minutes. But as soon as them links come on, you disappear. Like I said, you Smokey from Friday. What do you say? When Debo come around, I'll be quiet. When you leave, I'll be talking again. Don't be like that. Don't use the excuses we talk crazy or you gonna feel like you getting attacked. Today is the perfect example of what you would see on this show. A guy told his opinion, Mike debated it. Boom. Questions were asked. That's what Friday Night Madness is about.
Same conclusion that it's more issues with the team than just one.
Exactly. You thought it was a drug problem, and you find out there's way more problems behind that.
All right.
Exactly. So my final word for the night is gonna be, man, is hey, this team got a whole lot of work to do with limited amount of resources. So we can come up with these conclusions of we need to get rid of this guy, we need to get rid of this guy. But if you as a fan haven't really thought of the plan and the consequences of what your actions could do to this team, do you really have the team's best interest as far as winning, or are you for your own personal goals and want to see your own personal people? We can talk about running quarterbacks. We can talk about the mobile quarterbacks. But what is your plan to help them succeed to the next level? If you want them to goddamn run all day, look at the playoffs this year. Really, one of the only running quarterbacks you got in this playoffs right now is Josh Allen.
It's amazing, bro.
So we're going to have this discussion later on. We're going to talk about the difference between a mobile, and like I said, when we're talking about when people want mobile quarterbacks, we're going to talk about this later. The question is going to be, do you want a quarterback? Do you want a running quarterback, a quarterback that can run for 600-700 yards, or do you want an improviser?
Mm-hmm. See,
the people can't really distinguish the two. They just think that everybody just run. They look at everybody compared to Matt Ryan and think, okay, this is a running quarterback. You got to do more than that. The game is won in the pocket. That's all I got to say.
Man. But again, this is the reason why we do what we do, is to just talk ball, to be honest. There's nothing to be afraid of. I don't know why people are afraid to come on the show. You will get your point across. Even if if we have a rebuttal, like, you're going to be able to get your opportunity. I think we had 5-6 people, and I apologize to those that we couldn't get to. We will definitely, we'll try to do something Monday, probably Monday, probably go over the playoffs and whatnot after the game's over. So we'll probably do a recap on the playoffs.
We were supposed to do the damn. We were supposed to do the pre-thing for the playoffs, and we got to that. We just hit the whole that. So for anybody that came in here looking for the playoff prediction things, we apologize. But we're
gonna have to retitle the damn video.
Exactly. Have to redo the description and everything. But like you said, this is like this. That's what Friday Night Madness is about. We have a set plan, but sometimes the shit don't go exactly how we play. And it actually turned out into a better show.
Yeah. One of the best ones that we don't have. We had quite a few, but difference of opinion. And like I said, I want to end with this. This team got more issues than one. That's ultimately what we learned from, this entire, whether it's my opinion, his opinion, we still came to the same conclusion. This team needs a lot of pieces. They have a lot of question marks, and it becomes a matter of who. I see that. I see that. Marquise Blackwell. We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of issues with the team: offensive line, defensive line, wide receivers, linebackers. I think is the best and most complete position on this team. I can honestly say that with a straight face, which is the reason why I really don't want to do anything with the linebackers outside of give Fourier his money. Dion and the Falcons, I think they'll come to a conclusion on what he wants to do. If he doesn't want to stay, I mean, we'll be fine. We got Mike Walker. Obviously, we'll have Fourier. I don't think Fourier is going anywhere, but they're going to have the opportunity to beef up this defensive line, offensive line for the most part. And we got to get back running the ball. Like we can talk about defense all we want, but if we don't have a running game, the defense is not going to be worth a damn anyway. They're going to be on the field, and they're going to get right back on the field because the offense can't control their. That's pretty much what happened this year. It was just a total. Both sides of the ball were incomplete. We couldn't run the ball. We had a lot of 3 and outs on offense. The defense, they stayed on the field a lot. And when they played well, the offense couldn't get going. When the offense couldn't go on, the defense. So there was a lot of issues with the defense. So at the end of the day, that's the general consensus. I will say this also. I don't think that they lied to us about a rebuild. I think this is just the circumstances that they were dealt with. They don't have the cap room to make any move. You gotta have the cap space in order to rebuild. And that's just, you can't go out just cutting everybody because you wanna start over. It's just not how that works. These are guaranteed contracts that they have. And at the end of the day, patience is what we all are going to have to deal with, because ultimately the previous regime just didn't do their job. They did their job poorly, and this is what we're dealt with. Deion Jones is frustrated. Grady Jarrett is frustrated. As we know, Calvin Ridley is frustrated. Julio is frustrated, and I'm positive that Matt Ryan is frustrated. But at the end of the day, you still got to get up and do what you got to do. The end.
Mm-hmm. And I have a special guest appearance. Alama Days of Kids is going to show up on the show right quick.
Oh, Lord.
Hello, everybody.
This man, this dude, really?
Alama Days of Kids, everybody. He just showed up to the show.
Wow.
He's sitting here watching the show with me as we speak.
Wow, really?
This is the representation of our wide receivers. This is what I've been talking about, despicable me's. This is our wide receivers this year.
They about that tall, too.
Do you see the little feet on it? That's why they couldn't get open. Look at the little feet.
This dude, wow.
Oh man. That's all you got, Mike.
That's it, man.
All right. So here at AFN, we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. Hopefully y'all hit that subscribe button. Y'all hit the notification button. I'm your boy 6-Man KStylzz, man. Hit my channel up, man. I'm on the road to 1,000. Hey, man, I need y'all asses to hit that damn thing and get me up to 600.
That's a squad.
Hit
a
that.
Squad.
Hey, our wide receivers say, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the 6-Man KStylzz. I mean, I can't get over him, but I try. Look at my legs.
Jonathan, it's going to be a 2 to 3 year process. We all know that. That's what it's going to take to get some cap relief. So,
right,
man, it's it's going to take that much time. It's like I said, man, it's like whether we like it or not, whether we like it or not, it's going to be patience.
And definitely subscribe to Atlanta Falcons Nation. Hope everybody's being safe out there. Take care of your families. Take care of your health. But as we hear at Atlanta Falcons Nation, what do we say? We ain't here to play. We here to stay.
But you gotta get
Deuces.
Y'all got it. AFN versus the Falcoholic. Y'all finally got it.
Mm-hmm. They gonna be begging for more of that shit too.
Oh, I know.